Not that anybody watches it, but if you want to watch it in 4K, feel free. It's on MELL DCS. Right, hello and welcome those on YouTube. Hopefully that's all running. And that's my normal alarm to tell me to get ready to stream. I've had to do early today. I've got to give the other half a lift. But I will be back. And what I'll be doing after, I'm not quite sure yet. Right, okay, so we've got the first engine up. We're waiting for the oil pressure to come down, which it has already. Needs to be below 70. We can do the second engine. If we look, we might have to adjust our view a little bit because the lever now covers up those switches. So we're going to do the next engine. Keep an eye open here again, and when that gets up to about 2024, we're going to push the second lever forward.
The box said, "I'm hoping to see a C-390 from my country's Air Force at some point in DCS."
Possibly, I don't know. Right, I have no idea what they're coming out with, to be honest. I will be able to start my videos soon as well, finish work on the 5th. I'm at work next Monday, working from home Tuesday, and then I'm off. Back at work on the next Monday and half of the Wednesday, and then I completely finish. Okay. Right, so we're less than 70 now, and so what we're going to do is push both throttles forward. You've got to consider the UHF 404. People sort of have favourite planes and planes in their own country, and it's nice for people to have something from their own place that is good. Not necessarily how it fits within the scenario, but just because. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So we're going to push these forward.
No, I mean working during the holidays long.
Oh my God, really?
I had 2 Euro typhoons fly over my house.
Oh my God, 404.
It was cool there, pretty loud going after Werner.
Oh, basically, I'd only got 2 days left, but as I'm leaving on the 5th, I've had to push my 2 days in, and I'll go to work Monday. I used to have 3 weeks off over Christmas at one company because I ended up having so much spare time because I used to have to go on call-outs. So I'll be working through the night and then I'd have it back as time and a half rather than the money, which made sense to me. Okay. So the plane generally is fired up. I don't think we are aligned yet. Oh, we are. Excellent. So this is us here. Radio's on 127, so let's have a little look. We'll change that. Go to manual. Choose the 127.5 frequency. We're going to look down here and change that to 124. So it'll be 124.123. And then if anyone else was on, then I should be able to talk to them, right? But I don't think anyone's there. Okay, there's a few things we need to set up on here. Right, first thing, show. So I want to see where my co-pilot gun is looking. I also want to go over to threat shows and see threats and targets. If we go down to, let's have a look, ASC, I want to be able to switch on my RWR.
Sam, 12 o'clock, searching. Fixed
So this is telling me what's going on. It doesn't matter how ugly it is, it's how it performs. And it is a little bit different. It's like everything else, I think. It depends on how the Typhoon comes out. The problem is with DCS. DCS has done some really good modules, as has the people around it. But when they look at an F-35 and think about creating a module of what they believe an F-35 is inside, which is probably what they believe is what they know is inside, and it's not realistic, you've got to think, well, why the hell would they do it? Just because you have people who are relatively new jumping up and down going, oh, when's an F-35 coming, without thinking about the fact that it's an in-use plane and therefore obviously there's a lot of secrets to it. But when DCS are going to imagine what it will be like, you're in the realms of, you're just starting to lose it, in my opinion. Does that make sense? The Typhoon is actually probably underrated. Anyway, right, where was I? Okay, all the weapons should be already loaded, which they are. Let's see if I can see where we're going to. King of Saint and number 68. So there is a way, and I can't remember what the hell it is off the top of my head. I can go DIR, is it point 68 or is it waypoint 68? Sham?
Yeah.
How is it I do a direct to waypoint 68? Is it WP 68 I have to put in?
Yeah, or W68. I can't remember now, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while for me as well.
I think it's just W. I think it's just one character. I'm going to give it a try.
Nah, it's flashing at me, I'll try to. I assume it's DIR and then point, is it? Like when you do RTE and then DIR and then point and then type in W whatever. If not, I'll just have to do it a different way. Let's do this, do that. WP68. No, it's not the way I'm doing it. Anybody? This is bad, isn't it? I'll just fly there. I don't remember, which is not good. Right, what I do remember is I can go point. I can point here, and I can change this to. Oh, I might have only needed to put point in. I don't know. Change this to LZ. Oh no, come on. Do you know what? I think I'm forgetting more than I remember here. I think I might be. Bugger. Forgetting how to use the map, it's not good. At least hopefully my flying will be alright, he says. Right, we need to take this off here. We need to put the radios on. These are the squelch, by the way. You probably don't do a lot in this. When you're in our SRS, they do. You can see I'm rusty. Right, okay, so what else do I need? I need to align the IHADs. So the IHADs is aligned by aligning the center with this little viewport. If I try it now, it's not going to work. Okay, so I need to align that with that. And we get to it by going to weapon. When I hit weapon, ball sight, IHADs, right? and concentric circles will appear in that position. However, the reason I've left them off is to highlight when you get to that point, if you can't see them, there is a rotary there on the lights. This one on the top right, turn it all the way up and then you'll see them. Okay, so if it's not there, that's why. So what I need to do first is center my camera, look down. It's close enough. The reason being I'm not necessarily going to use the guns. Okay, the other thing is I'm going to be moving and pausing and moving my camera around, so it will be misaligned. So generally if I sit back in my seat and then press my home button or my center view, it's close enough. If it's slightly out, it doesn't really matter, we can work with that. I'm going to switch this over, run a bit test. We'll go back to TSD. Over here we're going to go FCR util. We're going to change it from pinned. When it's pinned, it means it's locked in position. We're going to, as it starts to come on, we're going to do an FCR bit override. So basically when you fire it up, it does a test. So whenever you see the word bit, it means built-in test. So we're going to override the test. Okay, we're going to select the FCR. Now before I can use it, I need to select it. The select button from the pilot seat is here. There's no clickable on there, but when I use the switches I've got, look, you'll see that little hat move, and I've got that selected. Okay, I'm also going to switch C-scope, and that is going to allow me to be able to see things on there. At the moment my acquisition target is fixed. When it's fixed, this diamond here just shows me forward, okay, and the cross is where my acquisition target is looking, and at the moment it's fixed, ball sighted forward. If we go down to acquisition, let's switch this off a tick. If we go down to acquisition, we can choose a number of things. Okay, we can look where the pilot helmet sight is, which is a bit pointless. Gunner helmet sight is always quite good, which is what I tend to choose. We can also look at from the point of view of a weapon, from where the TADS is looking, etc, etc. Right, I think I've done most things on here. One other thing worth looking at, if I can get this right, let me go to TSD perf. If you look here, right, this is giving me the torque that I need, right, for hovering. So the IGE is in ground effect. I think I talked about that last week or the week before, right? So that is when I'm hovering and we've got air bouncing from beneath us off any solid object, giving us additional support. OGE is out of ground effect. So you can see, for me to hover with a weight that I've currently got on, I'm going to need around about 105 torque. For in-ground effect, it's 83. Okay, is everybody okay with that? You know what I mean? Right, so let's put this on. I am as rusty as hell in this, as I will be in the World War II planes. I want to go down to this place here, and we'll go and have a little look. There's a bit of a slope around there, a hill. What we got? 105 degrees. It's only 46 mile. Okay. This is in nautical miles, so I need to, sorry about that. I need to change that because unfortunately this is dealing in meters, which is a little bit odd. So our range is only 8,000 meters. So you can see we'd need to be around here to have any effect. So we'll start looking at perhaps going down to this little village down here. That's out of range, is it? Or is it? So that's where I'm going to go. Let me check the range. 13k. Oh dear, I might have to end up in that one. Okay, we'll head off towards that area. One of the things we can also do as part of the mission is hopefully put on
need to retrieve an X-ray test. We'll get back a little later.
Alright matey, I'll see you Lumi. Right, so we need some what is it?
12 o'clock. Searching.
I think it's helpers. No, every time I come to this, it's a pain in the ass. Support. We want a Reaper. Where's the Reaper? There it is. And now I've got to assign the Reaper. So, support. And how do I? It's in. It's in zones, isn't it? I'm in the wrong area. Just one moment. There should be something that tells me the zones. I've already bought one, but I don't know whether it's going to come out.
It was there. Deployed tag.
Oh, it was. You saw it, did you? Okay, so come on then. Let's shout out. There's a bit of a delay. Where was I? Stats and support. F8. Right, previous menu. Thank you. Yay, there we go. Thank you very much. I'm so glad somebody's paying attention today. Right, before I take off, I'll drink my cup of tea. I'll explain how this flies a little bit. Terminology I've forgotten. When I start doing my videos, which will be in the new year, it'll take me a while to get up to speed and get them done. I will be back on my game with all of the terminology and these things. So I've got a bit of work to do. I've been meaning to do these videos for at least 18 months. I've been buying all this equipment, all the things I need to do, and then the job changed and I haven't been able to do them at all. So I'll be doing videos for this and Star Citizen on the YouTube channels I've got. But I will sort of message and everything else. And it'll go through some of the things I explained now, but with a lot more detail. The point being to accelerate learning and to help people, you know, get into DCS and Star Citizen. Anyone got any questions before I start? I'll put this on, but I am going to bypass it and then use manual flares. Hey up, Thunder Ace. Oh, Thunder Ace. I know who that is. A couple of things before I go. If you're watching on Twitch, you should now be able to see it in 2K. If you have a look, there should be an option there for you. If you're watching on YouTube, click the link which is in the description, and it'll pop up a window which will give you more real-time conversation, and I'll be able to hear what you're saying as well. Okay. I just want to drink my cup of tea before I get going. Alright, I'll put the axis on for this. Now, one of the things that I explain when I'm in the Shark is that if you want to learn how to fly this, you really want to start with a Huey, go to the Shark before you even touch this, right? The reason being, the Huey will give you your basics of helicopter flight and all the issues with helicopter flight. It's you flying the aircraft. The Shark is a lot more automated, and the trimming system is completely different. The trimming system on this is the same as the Shark, and once you understand it, it makes flying it a lot easier. Does that mean to say I'm not going to crash? No, I probably will. Right, as I said, I'm rusty as hell. So the point being, morning, Stu. So the point being is that if you can get a grip of a Huey, then you can get a grip of the way the trimmer works on the Shark. By the time you get to this, you'll understand how the trimming works. It's exactly the same, but there's some differences in the percentages of control. But anyway, let's have a look. So let's see if we can take off first. Anyone remember what the angle was I was supposed to be flying? Oh, look, we've actually got the thing flying where we want, 106. Okay. So let's put my head tracking on. Alright. And we're going to take off. And then head to 106. So a little bit of left. Oh, hear the beep? That's something I always do, and I pointed it out to you all at the beginning, right? It's beeping at me because I forgot to switch off the APU. Don't need it. Alright? Right, let's try that again, shall we? Goes a little bit quieter. Little bit of left stick. And we should be able to lift up. Okay? Now, the trimmer on this, the hat you would assign to a trimmer, has 4 functions.
Get those supplies.
I'll shut your hole. 4 functions. Forward is the trimmer. Left is the attitude hold. Right is the altitude hold. Okay?
11 o'clock. Search.
And back resets the attitude and altitude hold. So if I want to trim this aircraft, I press the hat forward and disengage the trimmer, keep it held, and then when I'm where I want to be, I let go, which is just the same as the Shark. So I'm holding the trimmer now, going to point over in that direction as best as I can because I'm hardly moving, so I need a lot of torque. Let go of the trimmer, let go of my stick, he says, and you can now see that the cyclic and my pedals are slightly offset from where they were before. Okay?
Patriot. 10 o'clock. Searching.
So I've got no hands on or anything, and it's going to slowly come down
Patriot.
just because of the weight on it. But you get the gist. It does not have the same level of hold as the Shark,
Gun. 11
but
o'clock.
it does have a little bit. Now, one of the things I will do, right, is, look, see, it says SAS saturated. SAS
Patriot.
is exactly the same as the A10C. Stability augmentation system. Okay?
Patriot.
And when this basically gets to the point that it can't hold it, it beeps and tells you it's saturated.
Patriot.
Okay, so it can't hold it and it disables. Okay? Now, on the Shark, it's about a 20% of the authority. On the Apache, it's something like 3 or 4% in one axis, and I think 6% in another. So it's minimal compared to the shark. However, because you've got attitude hold and altitude hold, you can still get this thing to hover as stably as you can get the shark. And the trick is to slow it down as much as you can first. Now remember, I said my out of ground effect hover was 108 torque. Currently I'm on 71, right, and I'm just moving forward a little bit. Again, I've got no hands, look. If I let go of my feet as well, you'll see it's just doing its own thing, right? Right, this is my speed. If I enable my attitude hold, it will go, oh, it's just changed. It'll go, you're going under 40, so I guess you are trying to hover. And it'll try and put you into a hover and slow you down until it puts you into a hover. However, like the shark, if you do that, right, it's going to take forever. If you slow your helicopter down first, like the shark, and then put attitude hold on, you'll find it does it really, really quick. Okay? Now the altitude even, sorry, you can see it on the right here, is doing a bit of a climb at the moment. So what I'm going to do is hold the trimmer. Okay?
11 o'clock.
I'm going to have to... Oh, I'm accidentally enabling my attitude hold there, which sometimes I do because I don't push the button forward properly. I'll push it forward and left. So if I slow myself down, look, you can see the little bally thing getting closer and closer. You can see the numbers going down. Got to be careful because I need more torque. Oh, that's not good, is it? Shut your hole.
Fixed wing, 5 o'clock, searching.
So I don't want it to go too high. It's really heavy at the moment. It might be better to demonstrate this when it's lighter.
Searching.
But what I'm doing
7 o'clock,
is
searching.
slowly reducing the speed.
Patriot.
And when I get it as low as I can,
Patriot. 9 o'clock,
right,
searching.
I'm then going to enable attitude hold.
Joe_uncaged said, same. My trim hat is finicky and I hit the wrong angle all the
Okay.
time.
And if you watch now,
Fixed wing,
let's just
9
see,
o'clock, searching.
it'll slow it down. Yeah, look, it's going into a hover. And when it's fairly stable, I'm also going to engage the altitude hold.
Searching. Patriot. 7 o'clock.
Alright?
Searching.
So when you see the shark, right, you can see this is moving a fraction. When you see the shark, right, stable, and you think, I wish I could do that, you can do it with this as well. I'm drifting a little bit. This is telling me I think that there's because I'm hovering, there's a 3 mile an hour wind which is pushing me this way.
6 o'clock.
So I could, right, just pull back very gently, he says. Let's try it. And just use the trimmer to perhaps help a little bit. So it's just lost control over the height there because it's moved outside its range it can hold it. But you get the gist. Thanks for the follow. Alright, you get the gist. So you can get this thing to hover. It does actually go stationary as well. It's got a slight drift on it, but not much. Depends on how finicky you want to be. So you can get this thing to hold, right? If you're flying it and I haven't got so much weight on, you can really throw it around a lot more than you would believe. And you can stop it really quite quick as well. But I am a little bit heavy. Alright, you get the gist. and you can see when you've got these held, it's got these little bounding boxes, and I'm going to have to read again and catch up on all the names. They refer to them as sleeves, but it's still overall called SAS.
Joe_uncaged said, yeah bro. What happened there? I've been following you for years, I thought.
Oh, don't worry about it. Right.
I think we've played SC together before.
I think we may well have done. We'll be doing SC tomorrow. I've got a few things to do today and a bit to do tomorrow, because obviously it's Christmas soon. But I need to buy some cheese for work on Monday. Right, okay, so is everybody happy with that? Morning, Stingy. I like the way it calls you stingy. That's not my fault. It just makes me smile. Stingy. It's what Lisa calls you because of it. Right, so while I'm just hanging there, let me just switch this over. Go to here, go to there. Switch off the audio before I echo. There I am echoing away. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, thanks. Right, okay. Again, just in case, if you're on Twitch, you can watch in 2K now, so you should notice the difference. The quality's a lot better. If you want to watch in 4K, I'm also streaming to DCS on MELL DCS, which looks more like what I can see. Okay, right, everybody happy with that? So now we can reset that, hold the trimmer down, put our nose forward, start moving forward, which is going to help with a bit more lift as soon as we start moving in the right direction. And again, I'm holding the trimmer down. Now if you're moving above 40, then the helicopter knows that you're not in a hover. Well, when I say it knows, it's got a parameter that basically says you're not hovering, you just want the helicopter held in that attitude. The other thing as well with this, unlike most things, is the tail, right, the rudder is trimmed separately. So now if I hit attitude, it should hold the helicopter in that sort of stance while I'm flying along. Okay? It's not holding the altitude, but I can put an altitude hold on it as well. So I'm very slowly increasing collective just to move the helicopter up a little bit.
Gun. 6 o'clock. Searching. Sam. 6 o'clock. Searching.
It is really gently. You can see already we're quite a high torque. Normally I'm running at about 60. Might have to just change my nose up a little bit. So hold, trim. Don't need so much torque now. That's a little bit all over the place. Come on. Right, okay. Well, we're heading in the right direction. Ish. Could go a little bit left. You get the gist. So when you do trim, by the way, when you let go of your trimmer, again, it's centre stick like the other helicopters fly are. You need to lift your feet off your rudders, if you've got rudders, or if you've got a twist grip, you need to relax the grip on your twist grip. Okay?
Searching.
I'm a little bit high here, but I'm going to do a quick scan. Don't expect to see anything. You alright, Stingy? Have you updated all your Star Citizen yet?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you'll be all ready for tomorrow's debacle of us bursting into flames and all dying.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what's going to happen.
Searching. Patriot. 8 o'clock. Searching.
It'll be worth trying out some of those missions we were doing the other week in terms of the fighting, just to see out what the difference is on the single seater and see what the time to kill is, etc, etc. Do you know what I mean? Might be a slightly different tactic, but hey.
Patriot. 8 o'clock.
Yeah, some of
Searching.
it's a bit weird to me.
It'll make more sense when we're in a bigger ship.
Gun. 6 o'clock.
I want to sort of get a grip on all of the engineering side. So you know, if you want to fly in a bigger ship, that's fine. You can fly it. Do you know what I mean? And not worry about it. Just don't call me Scotty.
I'll have to get Lisa engineering helmet.
I tell you what, I've been telling her, I said, look, you know, this is changing way beyond what you know, the way the firing works, all the master modes. I said, it's getting a little bit heavier. But that's another video. If I can't teach Lise, I can't teach anyone. Right, let's try and get this into more of a position that I want. And speed, a little bit more speed, more lift. Reduce the torque. If you notice, see the little vector there? You see the circle with
5 o'clock.
the horizontal lines and the vertical line. That is the actual direction I'm going.
Searching.
Because the tail is trimmed as well,
Sam.
then it's quite easy to make it so that
Sam.
you're flying at a sort of slippy angle or skew with. So you can actually get this to be more aligned, and then you're flying where you're heading more or less, okay? You see, as soon as I take my feet off, should be alright. So I'm not too far out there. Hey, I got a short round with me. 124 radio check. One, 2, 4 radio check. Probably no one's on 124. So by the time we get there, we'd have burnt a bit of fuel off. Right. There's another control we can do. There's a lot more to this, and for the sake of getting it going and not going too heavy into it, I'll just cover some of the bits. There is a link button which is incredibly useful, and I won't show it at the moment, but down on my down on the stick down here, right, the same hat that selects the FCR and that has got something called link. So if I select the TAD on the right hand screen and I've got that selected, and then I do a link to the FCR, when the FCR moves from target to target, it will move the TAD to that target, so then you can see what it is, which should hopefully help you not
9 o'clock.
shoot your own people. It's a little bit indiscriminate generally, like so many other things. Am I too far left there? Possibly. Looks like there is a hill over there. Poor old Spate is trying to stay with me, but I'm a bit all over the place. I need to find out what my flares are. That's it. As I said, I put them in manual, then forget. I do need brushing up on this, but there's lots of things I need brushing up.
Sam.
All the modules I've got and the things I used to fly, and the state of these missions, sometimes I tend to fly some things more than others. but for doing the vids I do need to
7 o'clock. Searching.
make sure I've got everything buttoned down, so to speak. Also climbed a little bit, look, I just dropped my collective. At the moment, as I said, it's running on 2K for the stream, which is fine. The downside is I'm having to do all the conversions, and you need to be aware of that. So if you can stream in 2K, you're also streaming in 1080p, right? You're also streaming in 720. You're also streaming in 480. So all those streams, if you look, are coming from my computer. Well, I'd rather have my computer giving me the benefits, not being a cheap way for Twitch to save money. Do you know what I mean? So I have got a button I can switch back. There he goes. What, you had to get up early? You working today? Stu, did you have to go to work? Oh, he's gone again. 124 radio check. Oh, thank you very much.
Change the password, Mal.
No, should be the same. It's the usual one with a capital at the beginning.
Sam. 7 o'clock. Searching.
Thank you very much. Who? Oh, I missed that. Thank you very much. Someone's. Oh, thank you. What's going on with all these subs? Thank you. Jeez, I've had that thing from ages.
Just had it laying around doing nothing.
Alright, thank you very much both. It's appreciated. I've got to get 1,000 viewers on 1,000 subs on my YouTube channel at some point when I start. But I need to put content. All I've done with it at the moment is just streamed. So the stream I'm doing now goes to YouTube too. I haven't really done much with it yet, but when I finish work, I will do. I've had all these videos in my head to do and all this stuff for ages. And I mean ages. And I've been collecting everything. That's why I can like stream to YouTube in like 4K 60 FPS. It's just so you get the quality. That's a live stream. But I'll do videos for there in detail so you can understand about things that I know about. And some stuff I'm going to have to learn. But all those little tips and tricks and stuff that I'll mention on here. Yeah, no worries. I was thinking of doing it, but I tend to do it. Oh, the Apache's really good, isn't it? There's a lot more to it, and I don't use a lot more to it. Personally, I prefer being in with somebody else. I used to fly gunner all the time, and I am as rusty as hell.
6 o'clock.
But it's like everything. I find the FCR a little bit too easy. Oh, you've just got the Kiowa. Is the winter sale started now, by the way? Christmas sale. If anyone is thinking of flying the Apache, as I said, start with the Huey. Try not to jump straight into it.
Yes.
Oh, it is? Okay.
DEY said yes. First time Kiwi has been on sale.
Oh, right, okay.
5 o'clock.
Of course, I bought the Kiowa,
Sale is on.
and then I got my head around it, and then haven't flown it since. And I've got a few modules like that. I haven't flown the F-18 for ages because I bought... I changed all my gear so it's all fitted on a chair with a joystick between my legs. and changing a stick over with I've got an extension tube, and changing the stick over is so fiddly, especially when I'm really old and I can't see the pins. It's a ball's ache, especially in the tube. It's so bloody dark. If the cable was just that little bit bigger, it'd be easy. But I have to get the other half there with a torch, a pair of pliers, because I can't get my fingers in the gap. Not that I've got big fingers, I've got girls' hands, do you know what I mean? It's just such a ball's ache. I'm still going quite slow, aren't I? Look at the speed that he's going. Spatey. Still, it's a nice leisurely flight. We'll get there in a minute. One of the things I haven't done is switched on Derek.
Daily Warrior said he'll die first.
It's what I was thinking. Got to work out which button it is now to switch Derek on.
Copy.
Oh, it's that one.
iHads is more sided than the front.
Fixed wing.
Startup complete.
8 o'clock. Searching.
Now, I'm not sure. Hopefully, let me put him over to. Just give him guns, I think.
Gun WASD. WASing Hellfire. Pistol set to low L. DWASD.
I don't know.
Gun WASD.
Thank you. I don't use him that often. He has a tendency to do his own thing. So I was going to go down to there and then start working my way in and see what I could see from there. We've got a Reaper over there. SA-19s, SA-8s. Looks like we have got some terrain there, doesn't it? We may be able to creep up and round, I don't know. A little bit high and I'm still climbing. Let's speed this up a little bit.
Very crackling.
124 radio check. You on 124 Stingy or you on something else?
Patriot.
No,
5 o'clock. Searching.
What, you flying the Apache?
Yeah.
By default it's not on 124. So you probably heard Spatey. Oh wow.
Where were you? We bled through.
Oh, 124 radio check. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I can't hear anybody. A little bit out here. Let's go left a bit. There's a hill there, isn't there? No, is that hill overlooking Prince Hussein? I think it might be, you know. I think it might be where Spate is heading to. Oh no. Yeah, it looks like there's a hill and then it drops down. I don't know whether we'll be able to see much from there.
Searching.
Slowing down all the time, huh? Let's get rid of that. Previously, with the Apache, it used to just VRS so easy, you had to be so careful with it. It's a little bit better now than it was. The thing is, you get used to each iteration they do, and then they change it again. You never know whether they're changing it to make it more realistic or changing it to make it easier, which is not the same thing. Go over here slightly. Got to finish early today as well, so I'll be finishing about 1ish, which is why I was on early. So this weekend I've got to take her to work, and then I think we've got 3 weekends where she's not working on Saturday, which is good. Which is a very slow aircraft, by the way. I don't know whether you realise that if ever a Chinook's flying with you, then it'll just outpace you easily. And the Shark is faster too. But it does have a pretty good weapon system.
Joe_uncaged said, Apache crawls.
It does a bit, doesn't it? One of the guys who used to game with us, he used to service Apaches. He used to come on from some interesting places, let's say that. I haven't heard from him for years now. I think he was going civvy. There's something I haven't done yet.
Sam, 6 o'clock, searching. Radar,
6 o'clock.
12 o'clock, searching. SA-8, 12 o'clock, searching. Radar, 12 o'clock, searching.
Yeah, he is down on this hill. Thought he might be.
12 o'clock, searching.
So I think what we're after is out of our range completely. Should be able to see. There he is. What I'm going to do is just slow down a little bit. When I slow down, what I don't want to do is go really high. I've got to be careful because you see the way the torque's gone down, slowing down. I don't want a VRS. You need to put some left rudder on as you slow down. You'll also lose a lot of lift, so your torque is going to increase. There's space just there off to the right. So I'm slowing down as much as I can, holding the trimmer, giving it a little bit more left rudder, still holding the trimmer. I wish it wouldn't do that. Could do with more gap in the button because I accidentally, as I said, catch the I leaned slightly left, so I'm catching the oops, come on. So I end up catching the attitude hold. put that on now. See what happens going backwards, which is never good. Yes, alright.
RPM low.
Stop your moaning. So why do I get a rotor RPM low warning? When you over torque, i.e. you demand...
The button to turn George on.
Oh god, I can't remember. I've got it on my throttle, so
Ready system.
you have to hold it a little bit. You can't just do it. I'm just...
I've got it.
Was it just a case of holding it?
Yeah, well, I'm not pressing it long enough.
Yeah, that's all it is, matey. Right, that's close enough. Right, so as I was saying, if you over torque, right, what you're basically doing is making a big demand on the engine, right, and you're trying to put more RPM into everything, and it can't do it. So what it starts to do is it usually drops off, and you start losing what you call tail effectiveness. So your anti-torque rotor at the back can't turn very well. It hasn't got the power to stop the torque, and also the rotor, it reduces the RPM of the rotor and everything. So when you over torque, it reduces the RPM, and that causes you to drop, and you have to be quick about it, otherwise you're going to drop out the sky. Basically, you can see this is already dropping a little bit.
5 o'clock. Searching.
So you have to be really careful, and that's why you'll find, you need to know whereabouts you need to hover. I mean, mine's changed now because I've been burning fuel. So if I just increase this a little bit, it might make it a little bit easier.
7 o'clock. Searching.
Anyway, right, so let's go down. Am I still going down? I think I might be a little bit. Let's change this to TADS. And now let's go make this back over there to FCR. That's selected, right? And this is on TADS. So if I now do this link button, this should show me what this is pointing to.
Just got an ND.
A what?
An ND.
Go on.
Negligent discharge.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I thought I were on the gun and the missile's gone off, so
Oh, right, okay.
keep your head down.
What was that, Luce?
Get out of the way and run.
He's miles away. You're right, Stingy. We're miles away. So we're too far away from the target. There's Spatey over there. If you look here, we are 24 kilometres. Excuse me. So I was just coughing. So I need to go over to here. So let's have a look. See if I can sneak over there. 106. So we'll pull this out. We'll reset that.
Oh,
Point our nose down.
thanks for hitting that follow button.
Thanks for the follow.
Mel said, thank you for the follow.
Need to move a little bit of speed up, but I don't want to go too high. Where's Spatey? He's over here somewhere. He's already creeping over, look.
Sam. 5 o'clock. Searching.
So not sure where they are. Let's go down to here first. Get some cover.
Radar. 11 o'clock. Searching. Radar. 11
So
o'clock.
I know that
Searching. Radar.
target's
10
at
o'clock.
11 o'clock.
Searching. SA 15. 11 o'clock. Searching. SA 8. 10 o'clock.
So they're all off
Searching.
my 11.
D_Camel said.
Hey,
"Look at
Mr.
the
Camel.
crispy 2K.
Oh, you noticed it.
Time.
It's not causing me any impact on DCS, but I suspect it will on Star Citizen. Especially with all the tweaks they've put in now and all the bloody Vulcan stuff. So I might have to switch back to 1080 for that. But I've got it set on a profile. How are you, Mr. Camel? Very busy at work again, I would
You should be
imagine.
fine.
Not. I don't think I would. Not on Star Citizen. It'll cost me frames, I'm sure, because it already sort of heats up.
10 o'clock. Searching.
So targets are over there. This is low.
But alive.
Yeah, you're good. You've been working all week. I was explaining to somebody at work the other day, some
Yeah,
other.
and I get some time off over Christmas.
Oh, that'll be nice.
8 o'clock. Searching.
As long as it's not as much time as I'll be getting after Christmas. I was explaining to him how in New Zealand at Christmas time, Christmas cards have snow on and everything, despite the fact it's summer. You're right, Barbie. How are you?
Radar. 12 o'clock.
Yeah, there was a mail popped in some point that I'd missed, and I thought, I'll go and set it up. But yeah, streaming all those other ones, I wish I could switch them off. And my little box that I use for YouTube doesn't do 2K. It'll do 4K and 1080p. How many hours you done this week?
D_Camel said, well, here is a tip.
Radar. 2 o'clock. Searching.
Go on then. There's a little hole there, look. Little hillock. One, two, four, radio check. I'm just going to slide round over here. Can you see the way that rises up?
You
There.
can cut the
SA
quality
15.
options
2
to
o'clock.
3
Searching.
will reduce the load,
Radar.
but still give
3
you
o'clock.
2K.
Searching. SA 8.
Um,
Searching.
Yeah, I haven't had to play with it yet. What does that drop
Try
off?
the
The
model
Radar.
though.
does that drop off 480 at the bottom? Right, so we've got another hill there, relatively speaking. Target's over there, so that means that if I start pushing forward for this hill, that I don't know what distance that will be. But that gives me a little bit of cover by the looks of it. No, hang on a minute. That's not my target. I haven't got it set. Where am I? I thought so. I'm looking back at the other hill. Dozy bugger. Looking back at the hill that I came from.
Radar.
And the
2
target's
o'clock.
down here.
Searching.
Pretty sure it drops 480 and either 720 or 1080.
I don't mind it doing 1080p as well as, but I'd rather just, you know, I wouldn't want to just do 2K and exclude 1080p because a lot of people will use 1080p. Still, just for the speed of the gaming.
Stormy_RL said, Hey there.
Hey, matey. You're right, Stormy. Stormy, was it? Was Stormy? Yeah, Stormy with an I. Okay. Welcome to the channel. If you got any questions, please ask. I don't know my way around everything. I have a good idea about a few of the things. But there's plenty of people in channel watching. I say, well, watching. That's delusion, isn't it? There's a few people in channel watching, and I know some of them are also very good flyers, so they may be able to help you out. We will be doing World War II PvP soonish. I thought this mission would be done out of the way, but that's fine. There's only a couple of bases to get. It's been taking us quite a few weeks. We're going in the right direction this time. Oh yeah, that's good. Sea Spate is creeping round over as well. Oh, while you're on.
I'm fairly new to DCS.
Oh, right.
Start on with the R-64 was not a good idea.
Starting with the.
Tracker 36 said,
No,
I'm
it's
good at
not.
flying into the ground when landing.
Yeah, to be honest, take this opportunity, right?
1 o'clock.
Even now, have you got the Huey?
Radar.
Because if ever you want to do helicopters in DCS, you start with the Huey. The reason being,
Vortex said, I also give a few soldiers a haircut.
the reason being, right, is the Huey is you flying it.
School Campbell said, to be honest, Mel 1080 is a waste since most people watch with chat, so the resolution they are watching it is 1340 by 754 anyway.
Yeah, not really. I shall have to ask. I might have to do a little survey. What was I going to say? Yeah, start with a Huey. It's dirt cheap. If it's in the sale now, it's $25.
I only tried the R-64 and now we give the Huey a go.
Yeah.
Apparently the price is even okay.
Yeah, the Huey is about $25, right? I assume. Have you bought your?
Missile. Forward right.
Oh shit! Am I gonna?
X underscore wealthy underscore X said, at D underscore camel I watch on my 49 inches, so love the highways on streams.
If you want to watch in 4K, it is on YouTube in 4K. It's MELL DCS, but you'll need to click on the link in description.
Yes, but you will be watching in 2K, not 1080.
Let's try and get to this little village here.
Missile. Forward. SA-8. 2 o'clock. Searching.
I don't know whether that's firing at me.
X said,
2S6. 12 o'clock. Searching. 2S6. 1 o'clock.
Just trying to get down to here to give me some protection. So
Fixed wing.
the Huey you might see as something that's generally very simplistic.
2S6.
The difference between the Huey and anything else is it's you flying it. There's no special things in there other than a trimmer. That's it. If you learn the Huey, right, and understand it and really give it a good throwing around, you can also get your mates in there. It's 4 people can go in on the guns. If you get your head around that, then it's going to help you so much with any other helicopter. It really is. And then if you learn the trimmer of the Shark, you'll find it helps you with this.
D underscore camel said, at X underscore wealthy underscore X I have him on a 75 inches 8K panel.
Radar. 2 o'clock. Searching. Radar. 2 o'clock. Searching. SA-15. 2 o'clock. Searching.
I mean, flying
2S6.
the
2 o'clock.
R-64 was
Searching.
okay, but everything else was too much for me.
Let's have a look. Where was I? Where's the target? Where's me? Am I looking the wrong way? There's a good chance can't even see. Right, how close am I to the target? This is too far away. So I'm going to have to get to this town as well, which is why he's crept over. Right, let's have a look. Right, Wolfie. You're on YouTube, Wolfie. I was going to say, if you click the little link in the description, it will open up a window for the chat. It'll open up a window for the chat on my stream. So there's a little link in the description on the YouTube one, and you can open up a chat window, which means you can talk more real time. If that makes sense, it'll be good for you to test it out for me as well. Okay, do you see what I mean about this? As I was talking earlier, this will hover as good as a shark. There you go.
D_Campbell said, at X_wealthy_X, there is a pic of my setup on my channel, have a 5080.
There you go. But if you chat via what I've just said, right, use the link in the description. There's not a delay. The problem is I'm pushing out about 45 meg, right, to YouTube, and by the time that's turned it into a picture, what that means is there's a minute delay on anything you type. If you click the link in the description, that will open up a Twitch chat thing to my channel, and you can chat via that, and that way round you haven't got the same delay in what you're asking, and it gets read out, if that makes sense. Right, okay, so what we've got to do...
Thanks for hitting the
there you go, thanks. So we're going to move from here.
Thank you for the follow.
Where's... Oh, right, okay. I was going to say, where's Spatey? It's disappeared. So for us to get any chance of having a shot at anything there, we need to be within 8,000 metres. So I need to move over in this direction. And it doesn't look great, does it? So this is within the 8K, but it's also extremely close. So I'm going to have to try and get across down to here. That'll be fun, don't you think? Sting is coming up my backside. So I've got 75 degrees I need to go. So I want to try and keep low and slow and head 75 degrees, which is going to be over this direction. Target's off to my right, so I need to get to the next town. Okay, excuse me, I need to cough. Also, as I said to everybody earlier, I will be finishing on the 5th of Jan for good. So it gives me about 6 months before I have to be concerned too much, and I'll try and get all the videos done properly that I mean to do. The whole training stuff I've been gabbling on about for bloody 18 months that I just haven't had time to do, unfortunately. So I'm quite looking forward to that. That'll be DCS and Star Citizen. I'll still be streaming, and eventually I'll be streaming live some of the training stuff that I've got on YouTube, and I'll give you the missions for it as well, and also audio tracks so you can listen when you're learning startups and things. That's the plan. Right, angle 75 degrees, next sort of town. Right, so hat back, reset these.
Radar, 2 o'clock.
And let's just gently work our way through and see if we can get through without dying. Let's move over here a little bit. Handling's not great on this. You know, my handling, not the handling of the chopper. But if you learn how to fly the Huey, it really will help. If you don't want to buy the Huey, if you're on DCS's website to get your modules, you'll be able to... I'm too high here. I wonder if this road is 75 degrees. You'll be able to download it for free for 2 weeks, but you need those 2 weeks to start to get a feel for it.
SA-15, 1 o'clock, tracking.
But you are as well. I'll probably end up dead.
SA-15, 1 o'clock, missile launch, forward right.
Is that coming to me? Possibly.
Radar, 1 o'clock, searching.
Yeah, there it is. That might be coming my way. Might be coming by somebody behind me. But...
Radar, 2 o'clock, searching. SA-15,
yeah. Another one! Oh, come on.
2 o'clock, launch.
Yeah, I do as well. Come on, you little bugger. Probably need to go a little bit more that way.
SA-15, 3 o'clock, tracking. Missile, SA-15, right, 3 o'clock.
Can't they just stop for a bit?
SA-8, 3 o'clock, searching.
Said, I just watched a tutorial and he tapped string. However you hold trim. Now I'm confused.
Sorry, what was he saying? What was the video telling you? It's alright, can you repeat that? I'll read it in a minute, but I missed.
Searching. Radar. 4 o'clock. Searching.
Enjoyable to fly mouse and key with the Helios?
No. To be honest, you're not going to do anything with mouse and keyboard realistically. You might get away with a controller on the most basic of helicopters, right? But even then, I wouldn't recommend it. You're far better to go and use... You're far better to go and use the cheapest ass joystick that you can get, as long as it's got forward, back, left and right and twist, right? You could...
Engine 2 out. Missile. Engine 1 out.
I think we might need some planes dropping over on this site first. Where did I get to? Oh, Whizbit. Yeah, there's got a bit... I'll have to come in here on a different... Yeah, and me.
Engine 2 out.
It's alright, Stu's doing a doodad.
Engine 2 out.
But it might be worth...
Engine 2 out. Engine 1 out.
It might be worth
2 out.
coming in on a different approach. It's not easy.
Engine 2 out. Engine 1 out. 2 out. Engine 1 out. Engine 2 out.
Let's get there faster, shall we? King of Sane College.
Engine 2 out.
There.
Engine 1 out.
Shut up. She does go on.
Engine 1 out. Engine 2 out. Engine 1 out. Engine 2 out.
What was it? So,
Engine 1 out.
what was the question, dude? I just watched the tutorial and it taps the trim. Right, okay.
Engine 1 out.
The trim is the same as the Shark. You hold the trim down, right?
Engine 1 out.
And it disengages the trim.
Engine 1 out.
Let me show you in the Shark, because as I said, learn.
Engine 2 out.
Oh, for God's sake!
Thanks for
Engine
the
2
radio
out.
pilot, and welcome
Engine
you
1 out.
lovely people.
Engine 2 out.
Oh, thank you very much for the raid.
Thank you so much.
Engine
for
2
the
out.
raid, Jock Pilot.
Could have I got anybody on who can give them a shout out? I'll do it myself in 2 ticks. Right, how are you? Thank you very much. Here you, Jock. Let's go and try and find your name. Otherwise, I'll misspell it wrong. Because I haven't.
Check out Jock Pilot.
Oh, someone's done it.
Jock Pilot last streaming
Thanks, Camel.
Flight Simulator 2024.
Hey, Jock. How you been getting on? Are you, I think, you
Pilot
quite...
said, I'm good, dude.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
All good, thank you very much. Doing what I normally do. Training as I go along. Explaining everything. Makes people fall asleep, but as long as somebody learns something, welcome all your viewers as well. Were you flying in DCS? I'm going to switch over to the Shark and explain trimming from a Shark perspective that you can apply then to the Apache. And I'll explain why you don't just tap it. Tapping the trim on an Apache is not the way to utilise it. And I'll explain on this, alright? Right, I'll go through the startup. And as I always say, every time I start in a new module, I'll go through the startup, okay? I won't do it again after that unless someone's got anything specific. The Shark, this is the Shark 3, right? You can tell the Shark 3 because you've got 3 stations on there, or 3 pylons, and there was never 3 pylons on a KA-50. There was on the K-52, but as I always explain, they were updating the Shark, which they've done all the modelling. It's much better in VR if you fly in VR inside. The external modelling's much better, and then they had the permission pulled for the updates they were doing. So as a way of recompensing and all the work they'd already done, they added on this 3rd pylon. There's no white hot, black hot or anything, which there's supposed to be now, apparently. It's a bit of a shame, but hey ho, such is life. Anyway, we'll start it up by going to the right knee and doing the batteries. If anyone's got any questions, please ask as I go along. I am happy to divert off and answer any questions I can. I am not an expert. I know my way around a few modules, and I'm more than happy to pass that information on to help people out to get into DCS. There's far too few people stream DCS. And you know, I like to applaud anybody who does. Even if you're learning, if you think you're going to look an idiot, that's fine. We've all done it, we've all been there. You don't have to spend a ton of money, and if you do it right and go via the DCS website, you'll be able to download most modules and most maps for free for 2 weeks, and after 6 months you'll be able to do it all again. So you'll still be going through the modules, and then you can start with the first ones again. There's so many sales on, you can get things 30, 40, 50% off. And whilst it may seem that you'll never be able to do some of the things you might see, believe me, you will. Everybody starts somewhere, okay? So ask any questions. There's no dumbass questions. And saying that, I know I'm going to get somebody asking me a dumbass question, but as far as this goes, if I can't help you, there'll be somebody in channel who can help, or somebody I'm flying with. Right, we're going
to... Camel said, well...
Go on then. Not the unladen swallow, that's Jack Seeds. So we're going to put the batteries on. We're going to turn round to our right elbow, which is on the back wall. And we're going to switch the ecran on and hydraulics. Turn round to the left, we're going to press the master caution. We're also going to switch on the KO41 here on the lower left by the left knee. Switch on the Abris. And then we're going to turn round and give it some fuel flow. Now, if you're watching this, don't try and write down anything I'm doing, okay? When you learn, if you grab somebody else's set of instructions, it's going to take you longer to remember them. If you've got a printout of stuff, it's going to take you longer to get it in your head, and you'll be forever looking at lists. The best way of learning is to follow parrot fashion, right? So when you're ready, because the biggest problem is you'll see people like me talking about fuel, talking about ecran. I try and explain where it is. And when I start doing the videos on YouTube shortly, I'll also do an audio track that you can just plug in and listen to, which will explain as you go through without all this chat. So it'll tell you where things are. Once you've done that and just parrot fashioned it for 6, 7, 8, 9 startups, you'll start to know where to look. Okay? So you'll automatically start turning. If you notice, as I turn my head to the right, you can hear me more in your right ear. Or if I turn my head to the left. And you can use that as a bit of a guide if you're just listening to an audio version of the startup. And when you're ready, write down your own set based on what you remember. Okay? And the reason for that is by writing something down, it reinforces that information in a different way. So you listen first, let someone guide you through. It doesn't have to be me. You just let them guide you through, and as long as you stick to the same pattern every time, you'll find you'll know exactly where to look. When you first get into this helicopter, for instance, it's pretty daunting. So many switches and buttons. But when I used to write stuff down, I'd put an RK for right knee, or a right T for right thigh, RE, right elbow, and I used to put that along with what the thing was I was looking for. So it sinks in better, and in the main you just remember stuff, you just pull it out your head. Alright, so don't let things put you off. Right, we've started up, we've put the batteries on, we've put the ecran on the right elbow, on the left knee, on the lower left.
How do you pause the track camera? When I stop open track in the program, I can't look around with the mouse anymore, and with open track it's hard to hit the right buttons.
Oh, it's a pain in the ass.
_Wealthy_X said, I heard the rotor isn't actually used to make it fly. It's used to keep the pilot cool. Don't believe me? Stop it spinning and watch the pilot start spinning.
You're right, Wolfie. I think that's probably true, matey. If you've got track IR, which obviously you haven't, when you pause track IR, you can still use the keys on your keyboard to look around, which is how I would normally do it. This particular head track I use, which is AIM XYZ, what I have to do...
The gist of it was he trims.
What I have to do, right, is look where I want to look, okay, and pause it. And I can't use the keyboard except there's 2 controls I can, and that is asterisk and slash. And asterisk and slash allow you to zoom in and out, and I've got those bound to a tiny joystick under my thumb. So when I want to look over there, I just pause it, and then I use the asterisk and the slash to allow me to look closer, so you can all see exactly what I'm seeing. Does that help? So try it, right? I've got something called a G13 keyboard, gaming keyboard.
So you look there and pause the game?
I look, yeah, I'll show you again, look. Right. So I want to look at a specific thing. So I put my head in the right position, and then I pause the tracking. And usually every single tracking will have 2 switches, one to recenter and one to pause. Most tracking things do. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, you don't pause the game. And then I can zoom in. And I can zoom into a level that everybody can easily read. Okay? So it's the tracking. Most tracking things will have a default recenter and a default pause. Alright? So that's how I do it. Right, so we're going to switch on the fuel flow.
Stormy_RLZ. Perfect. Thanks, mate. I will try this.
Yeah, and it's the slash and the asterisk on your numpad. Okay? The reason why you can't use your keyboard anymore or the numpad is because it's scanning for all those keys and your head tracking's picking it up and not the game. It used to work fine in Track IR, but not in this one. So we're going to put the forward, aft, and fuel QTY on.
I know the shark better.
Right. We're then going to lift up the flap for the APU and switch the fuel flow on. So we've got fuel flowing to the APU to allow us to start it up, okay? When that is up, you'll see you can't press this down. And if you see it up during flight, it means you've probably forgotten to switch the APU off. If we now turn round to the left...
My English is not the best quick key, is it? And?
Oh, right, okay. There's nothing in there. The star. So on the numpad, it'll be the star and the slash. Okay, so the star and the slash are normally on the top row of the keypad.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Right, where am I? Okay, so we got the fuel flow onto the APU, and now what I'm going to do is start the APU. If you notice the APU gauge there, we've got fuel flow. This is what this is telling me. So I'm going to press the button here that says start, and then I'm going to drop the rotor brake. As the APU starts up, you'll see the lights light up. It'll go up to about 7, drop round, and just as it drops round, the third light will come on, as it just has done. When the third light is on, the APU is now ready to start the engines. You always start the left engine first, and if we look along on this wall again, towards the back, we've got engine control. Here we've got fuel shut off, okay? So what we're going to do is lift up the left hand LH, which is engine number 1, and we're going to toggle it up. So it says EEG there, which is the electronic engine governor. We're then going to scoot along here to fuel shut off for the left hand engine, engine number 1. And then we're going to go back to the start panel, which is at our left knee. As we zoom into the start panel, we can see at the top here, start, stop and APU shut off. The important one is this little toggle switch just down below. And in the center position, it says APU. So when we started the APU, we could just press the start button. Now we want to start the left-hand engine. So we click it once and it moves down to the lower left diagonal, which is pointing at the left-hand engine. We hit start. We're going to move backwards, right? And we're going to see the engine needle for number 1 drop, which it just has done. And that's the RPM. And when it gets onto 20% RPM, or the number 2 there, we're going to move the left-hand engine cutoff lever up, and you'll see the exhaust gas temperature increase for engine number 1. That tells us we've got a good start.
I have a problem.
Yep.
Yesterday, after installing a single-player mission, when I tried to join a multiplayer server, my game gets stuck on loading. The game itself is running, but the server just doesn't load. Have you ever had a problem like this?
What was the mission you were trying to get into? Do you know what the map was that they were running? And what else?
Syria, I think.
Syria. How much memory do you have in your machine? Also, are you new to DCS? Okay, 64 gig. Are you new to DCS at all?
Before that, every engine working perfect. No, I played like 2 to 3
2 to 3 years. Okay, so that cuts a lot of questions out. And you own Syria, obviously, yes? Right. why can't you go onto load? Anybody else think of this as well? Why you couldn't go onto load? Obviously, it's not password protected.
Now I can join to some servers.
Okay. So when you see the server list, do you know if it's password protected? I can't think of anything else unless you've got any firewall software. And is it only some servers? Some servers are password protected. For instance, if you try to join this one, see if it gets to the same point. But just be careful, because loading does take a long time. Did you give it enough time?
Yay. I want to play content near Leaker. I always play in games stuck in loading. To Foya I can join.
Right, that's a little bit odd. If you can join other people's servers, that's fine. That's another one, yeah.
On the same version of the game as yours. I.E client mismatch. El Comaro said at x_wealthy_.
Right.
I've got the subs.
x_wealthy_.
Excellent. Whilst that conversation's going on, what I'll do, that's a good idea, yeah. Whilst that's going on, I'll start the second engine, and the second engine is exactly the same as the first engine. Excellent, thank you, Stingy. What you flying in?
16.
Ah, right, okay. So we're going to do the same with the right-hand engine. Right-hand EEG. Right hand shut off for the fuel. We're going to turn round. We're going to hit the same switch. That's put us to the right hand. And then we're going to hit the start. We're going to back off so we can see this needle drop. And again, when it gets to 2, we're going to move this lever up. Okay, see the exhaust gas temperature going round. We've got a good engine start. Right, so while I'm waiting for the second engine, what I'm going to do is put on the intercom, and I'm going to switch on this little switch where it says voice warn. This little switch allows us to be told what these messages are rather than the message watch ecran. Yeah, it could be that. And also, if you've only got a trial version of something, there's filters on servers to stop that as well. Could also be a full server. Right, so you'll see they both go up now, and they're sitting at idle. So what I'm going to do now is put the engines up. Okay. It shouldn't make any difference whether you're running a single player mission or not. Shouldn't make any difference whatsoever. I think that might just be a red herring. What we're going to do is move the engines into work mode. Okay. If you were on the Shark 2, you wouldn't be at this stage yet. So what I'm going to do is do page up twice, because there's no button for them. Okay.
Electrics on battery. Doppler navigation system failing. No nav data.
Okay, so we've got 3 messages. Now let's put this on. On the Shark 3 you have to do alignment. However, this mission has been tweaked subtly different. I'll tell you in a minute. So we got electrics on battery, Doppler navigation system, and no nav data. So no nav data, literally we haven't got a ribbon across the top. Okay, so we don't know where we're heading. The electrics on battery, we can solve that by switching the 2 generators on, left hand and right hand. Okay. The Doppler navigation system we haven't finished starting up yet, so it's not really an issue. What we're going to do is switch on this navigation system here using this left knob, right, and moving it to operate. And then we're going to go around and switch on the INU. In the Shark 2, you would have had the INU switched on already, but you don't have to do alignment. The issue is the mission has been tweaked so it does an auto align. So if you get in your own Shark 3, there's a good chance you'll have to do this alignment. I'll try and explain it to you, but I can't show you exactly. Suffice to say, you've got no ribbon. You switch this on here, you turn round to the right shoulder and switch on INU. Now, if this hadn't been tweaked, you would see a symbol down here in Cyrillic, i.e. the Russian alphabet. Okay, and it would take 3 minutes before this appeared. When this appears, you'll see there's 2 symbols at the top there, a triangle and a diamond. You would find the diamond pointing here, but the triangle pointing over here, and it'll be 10 degrees out. Okay, so you have to manually adjust. And the way you do that, if you go and find yourself on the F10 map and you click on yourself, you can see 176 degrees is my heading. So what I would do, that's the wrong button. What I would do, what have I done? There we go. Is go down here, using this little dial, I would turn it to my heading, press this toggle down and back to the middle, and then put this dial back to where it is. And when I've done that, you would find these 2 aligned. Okay, if you don't do that, you will have problems with your helicopter. However, I can't show you that little bit on here because it's been set to automatic. Has anyone got any questions on that at all? Is Kev not in today? No, he's not, is he? Alright. Right, so now we've got that all going, we can carry on with the rest of the start of the helicopter. We're going to put the radio systems on. We're going to switch on the data link toggle switch. Anyone else in a Shark? I'm going to leave this at number 1 and put this to wingman. This allows us to communicate with each other, sending each other targets or anything else. It's really difficult, by the way, Elk Camara, not elk. It's quite difficult. I think Wolfie's covered most of the parts, and you're going to have to go for a process of elimination and try and understand, and also see what your ping is like to the servers you're trying to go to. These here are the channels. So we're going to put on pitch, bank and heading. And this is a little bit like the SAS channels I was talking about, that are built into the Apache and that we also have on the A10C. And they smooth the input to the flight control system. We're going to put the fire extinguisher, the seat ejection system on. We'll put the fire extinguisher on by moving it up. We're going to turn around and put the LH140 laser on, which is on the right shoulder. Yeah.
It could be a client version mismatch, as it might detect the game files have been modded, and the server only allows what it considers official underscore.
And that's another point as well. If you've got any modded stuff on your server, on your machine, right? If you have installed any modded to play your single player mission, you could find the servers need a pure client, which is what ours does as well. So when you go to join it, if you haven't got every single file exact and nothing extra, or if you've got something extra, it won't let you join in, but it'll give you a pure client message. We're also going to put on the countermeasures, which is the UV26, and that should be on now. Okay, so the helicopter started. We can stop the APU by pressing the APU shut off. No, we can't. Yes, we can. I've done that. I just suddenly had a mad panic thinking I hadn't done something. And then we can move the APU fuel flow down, right? And the helicopter is ready to fly. Can't remember if we've got any missiles on it. I'll put this on. Yes, we have. Okay. So unlike the Apache and the Huey, it's dual counter-rotating blades. So we've got two blades that spin in opposite directions. Therefore, they counter the torque generated by having a single blade. We've got no tail rotor. It does move, but that's stabilisation rather than anti-torque. Okay. Right, I'll cover the trimming off and then we'll go to the mission point. So, let's finish these bits off first. I do apologise. If we move this into nav, we can see our map. We just need to change the thingamajig to Prince Hassim, the waypoint, and one day I'm going to remember what it is to do that, but I'll sort it out before I make videos. I'm just looking at the waypoints there. You can see them changing, and they are one out from the numbers as well, so you must bear that in mind if it's using numbers. There's rather a lot, by the way, as you can tell. And if I can't see it, I'll just fly there. King Hussein, there we go, Prince. That's the one. Right, okay, so the last thing I need to stick on before we go is we need to uncage, which it won't let us because I haven't switched power on. Power is down here, standby SAI. Now we can, it's uncaged already, there we go. We just need to align it with the ground. You've also got a slip indicator. Right, if you notice the brakes are on and flashing, and that stops me moving forward. If I move my stick forward, look, nothing happens. Okay? And that's how I want it, because I'm going to take off just by going up. If I switch the brake off, move my stick forward, right, my helicopter will start to move forward. Okay? Can you see? Now, when you're taking off, you have to push your stick forward. When you start applying more collective and there's more power going through the rotors, when you push your stick forward, you will start rolling. And you don't want to roll, right? If you're on a fob, you are going to roll off it. If you're somewhere where there's obstacles, you'll roll into them. And the reason for that is, if I just take off now, I'm going to go backwards. Okay? So you can see here, this is where my joystick is, look. And that is backwards on this helicopter. So to stop me going backwards, I'm going to have to push this forwards. And when I push it forwards with power, I'm going to move forwards. So you put the brakes on to stop that happening. Okay? Right, first of all, I'm going to just lift off. And as I lift off, as I'm getting light, I'm going to push the stick forward. Okay, there we go, forward. Now I'm not going to roll. And there we go, we're up in the air. There you are. Good morning, matey. You had your coffee this morning? You like coffee date?
Get those supplies.
Yeah, supplies my bum. Right, so you can see that, oh shit, I didn't realise that was there. put my head tracking on. Right, Stingy's off killing things.
Today ended up going out last night instead.
No, fair enough. Right, so let's have a little look in the window, in the hood. So I'm going to take my gear up. You'll see the gear lights there. Okay. And that should go to red. But what's interesting is what we can see. This is telling me the speed we're moving in kilometres. This is telling me the height. This is telling me where the heading is, and this is telling me where the trim is set, and this is telling me the direction we're drifting. It's a bit obvious. We can see the floor, we can look over there, we know we're drifting in that direction. When you're over sea or in the sky and in clouds, you are not going to be able to tell which way you're going necessarily, especially if water's moving, if the clouds are moving. You're not going to tell. So when you're moving less than 50, you'll see this line, okay? And this line indicates your speed initially. When it gets to 50 here, that'll disappear, and also the direction. Now, I did say I would explain the trimmer system, because if you understand the trimmer on this, you'll understand the trimmer on the Apache, and also why you're not going to just tap it. Okay, so the trimmer is set. The trimmer controls 20% control authority. I am sitting here, I've got no hands, no feet or anything on any controls. That helicopter will keep going, doing what it's doing until it crashes into something. Okay, I am now gonna, I'll shut your roll. I am now gonna push my stick over to the left, you can see, and the helicopter's virtually doing nothing. Okay, it's just wobbling around. And the reason for that is, I told you the trimmer has a 20% control authority. So for me to get that helicopter to turn, I've got to input a minimum of 21% control. So as I slowly push this over more and more, eventually the helicopter is going to move. And it feels horrible. It feels like the helicopter is not wanting me to move. I'm now going to give it a bit of rudder. I'm now going to speed it up, and I'm going to point it in that direction. Now while I'm doing that, look in the hood. The heading is over there. The trimmer, the diamond, is over there. And as soon as I relax anything and drop below 21% input, right, it's trying to go back to the trimmer. So you can see the speed, you can see the direction. It's going to be a bit violent for the helicopter, but watch what happens when I let go. Bucks its nose up, slows itself down, turns around, right, lifts its nose a little bit more, slows itself down a little bit more, will level out, and goes back to doing what it was doing when I set the trimmer. So when the trimmer's set, and this is the same in the Apache but not so strong, when the trimmer's set, it will do what you set it to. Okay, don't matter what I do, if I move it, do it. When I let go, it goes back to where the trimmer is, he says. You watch, there it goes. Okay, and the Apache does exactly the same. Now, if I wanted to fly this and I wanted to just tap the trimmer, that doesn't make sense. And the reason it doesn't make sense is because when you press the trimmer, you disengage it. When you let go of the trimmer, you engage it. When you're in the Apache, press and hold the trimmer, you disengage it. Let go of the trimmer, you engage it. So, I want to fly over there where I went before. I press and hold the trimmer. I look over there, I press, everything works. There's no resistance whatsoever. I point where I want to point to. I move to the speed I want to do. And when I'm ready, I let go. The trimmer snaps to the heading. And now the trimmer's set to do this. If I tap the trimmer, it's not really doing what I want it to do. And in the Apache, right, I would always, any manoeuvring, hold the trimmer, let go of the trimmer, relax my stick to the middle. In helicopters, thank you, Stormy. Yeah, I might do a comments page, by the way, for when I do the YouTube one. Does that make sense to you, Stormy? So by holding the trimmer, you disengage it. Thank you for the follow. By letting go of the trimmer, you engage it. So flying this, and also flying the flying the Apache is a series of lots of trim changing. Okay. Now, just beware, as I said earlier, the control in this, right, the trimmer will take 20% control authority. So as long as I haven't got anything, now you can see my height's increasing. That's because my throttle is over 20%. Not my throttle, my collective, right? So it keeps increasing its climb. So it can't hold it. Okay? So just bear that in mind. This is 20%. The Apache is something like 4% on a rotational axis and 6% on a pitch. Now I can't remember if that's the exact figures, but it's pretty damn close. The point being, it's not going to be like this. But if you understand how this works, it'll help you with the Apache. And then you've got the addition of the attitude hold and the altitude hold. We do have altitude hold on this. It's the 4th channel that will come on when we go into a hover, or when we want it on. Okay, we can switch it on, but there's no need for it now. Okay, so to me, right, rightly or wrongly, you would hold the trimmer to manoeuvre and then let go. Now, there was a big debacle and a big moan by the community on the forums. I actually did put a post there and people slagged me off left, right and centre. When the Apache came out, there was no trimmer reset. The real life Apache does not have a trimmer reset, right? But people were jumping into the Apache from planes.
Does it make sense to learn hover first without trim?
You can do it manually, right? But what I tend to do, for instance, if I want to get into a hover in this, I will do what I did in the Apache. I will slow the thing down as slow as I can, right? It's going quite quick at the moment, so bear with me. I'll slow it down as much as I can. I'll get that line, right? I'm holding the trim at the moment. Now, in the the Huey is where you're going to learn how to hover. That is by far the best way of learning. As I said. Oh man, sorry, let me just slow down. So, as I was saying about the Apache, there was no trimmer reset. And the community moaned that much because they were coming from aircraft and they didn't have a trimmer reset. But they also had no idea about helicopters, and they were going on, oh, this, that and the other. You don't need a trimmer reset in an Apache, right? The trimmer reset on this, if I ever press it, right, the helicopter stands a good chance of falling out the sky. because the trimmer reset on this makes the helicopter go backwards, and it goes back to the centre there on the bottom left. And when it goes back to the centre, it goes backwards. Can you imagine if I'm flying with quite a lot of trim on, going forward at speed, I press the trimmer reset, the helicopter's just going to buck up like a bucking bronco in the air, right? And it's going to try and flip if you're not careful. So here, and again, the same in the Apache. See what I'm doing? I am using that line to move my stick. I'm holding the trimmer, using that line, and it's showing me the numbers, but I'm using the line. I'm going to get it as low as I can. With this 12 kilometers you can engage the auto hover, but I'm using the trimmer to get this really, really low, right? I'm not setting the trim, I'm disabling the trim. Going probably backwards, am I now? Could be. And the reason being is when I press the button to go into the auto hover, right, it will get into an auto hover really quickly. You watch. Right, really low. Right, press the button, let go, and within seconds, right, this is going to be sitting there hovering, and it will be stationary. If I'm going to do that when it's moving at 12 kilometers, it's going to be slow, and that's what I do with the Apache 2. I slow it down manually as much as I can, then engage the trim, and then I would put attitude hold on, which will push it into an auto hover if you're less than 40. Do you get my gist? Oh yeah, force feedback and helicopters is, you know, as real as you're going to get it. The way that trim works in helicopters, because we've all got centre springs on the base of a joystick, right? If you let go of your joystick, it centres. So the method they used in DCS, or the basic method, is something called centre stick. So in the helicopter, my stick here is forward of its centre. There's its centre. In my real life stick, my stick is sitting in the middle. Right, so when I move my stick now, the stick in the helicopter is my new centre. So that's my new centre for my real life stick. Alright. If I engage or disable the trimmer and I'm going to push forward, right, or I'm still in auto hover, I'm going to let go, but I'm not going to centre my stick. Watch what happens. I'm now moving my real life joystick 360 degrees to its fullest extent, and nothing. So what you have to do when you set a trim is relax your grip on your real life stick, and when it hits the centre you'll see a little wobble. There you go. And when it does a little wobble, I've now got control back, look. Right? If you don't relax your grip, you're not going to have any control. Now what a force feedback stick does is it basically stays where you put it. So my real life stick would be pitched forward slightly. Okay? And then I'd hold it, disengage the force feedback for the stick or the trim for it, and then carry on moving it from there. But you can't do this in our gaming world unless you've got a force feedback stick. So you use centre trim. You do it for all your helicopters unless you've got force feedback. The other method is instant trim, which is awful. So instant trim will trim your stick, but because you're holding your stick forward, it will add that onto the trim that you've just set. So instantly you've got twice as much trim on your helicopter than you wanted. if that makes sense. I haven't demonstrated the Huey for a while, but over Christmas I might do that because it is by far the best way. And I think if Camel's still awake, he'll probably be asleep in a minute. Far the best way of learning helicopters, full stop. And I'd recommend anybody to start with the Huey.
Having the little visual thing helps learn it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I might end up with force feedback, I don't know. I need to upgrade my stick, but as I said, I'll be working no longer from... I finish on the 5th of Jan. Wasn't 100% by choice, but it works for me, I guess. Means I can do videos, and we'll see how we get on. I should be good for 6-7 months, and then I might have to go and find a menial job somewhere just to get a bit of money in. Right, anyone got any questions on anything I've explained about trimming, how the similarities are with this, the Shark and the Apache? I was flying the Apache a little bit earlier and I was explaining it in there. It's just much easier and more forgiving to explain it in the Shark. Right, so while I'm moving forward, we've got 2 blades above us. Those 2 blades move in opposite directions. When a helicopter blade... Oh, the FD button. Sorry. FD button. I do. You will have to explain. When it comes to some things, I am a dumbass. I'm not quite a nerd. Oh, flight director mode. Thank you. Yeah, that. Flight director mode is the button over there, you mean? I don't use it. I don't use flight director unless the trimming is part of flight director. I don't know, to be honest. The only times I've ever used flight director was when I wanted to go from A to B to C, but I got that bored of it flying so slow that I never use it. I will cover it in tutorials, and a lot more to do with the map. And I might even have to relearn weapons.
I have one question.
Yeah.
I have no pedals
Yeah.
on the joystick. It feels awkward to circle and pull to get to one intersection. How do you trim? Make it sense to put it on a button.
Oh, the trim should basically... what joystick have you got? And if you've got no pedals, right, this is the bit I'm going to tell you is really, really important, right? So answer me this. Is your joystick on the table? And if it is on your desk, is it to the right of your keyboard? And if you've got a throttle, is it to the left? Okay. Is it to the right of your keyboard? So if you were sitting, you've got your keyboard right in front of you, in front of your monitor, and your joystick is off to the right of the keyboard. Is that correct? I can see how close I am to the target, and I'm about 62k at the moment.
However, when it's complicated and I am left-handed, the stick I use to left the keyboard is on the right.
That's fine. It's what you've got to work out is when you might already do this, when you haven't got pedals and when you use a stick for helicopters, if you just literally bend your arms at the elbow, right, where your hand is now, if you bend your arms at the elbow and you do your gripping motion, that's where your stick should be. So you need to make sure that the table or your desk, yes please cock, is the right height. And you need to make sure your arm for your stick is in the right place. So when you're working on a desk, right, you want to be able to put your hand on the stick without reaching right or left or up or down. It needs to be in the right place, and you'll do that by adjusting your seat, right? When you do that, twist grip works a lot better. If your stick is off to the right or to the left, whichever hand you are, as you turn the stick, you'll find it pulls and you put other pressure on the stick, which makes it pull back, which lifts your nose. So if you can put that stick in the right position, it might mean you move. If you've only got a stick in a keyboard, you need to move your keyboard more to the side than you have already. It's okay for your fingers on the keyboard, it's not okay for the stick, and you'll find your twist grip is better. For trimming, again, this is where you get a problem. What I would suggest, if you've, depending what you're flying, but if you've... Oh, that one, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So basically, you could use a key and one of your buttons on your stick to set your trim. Mostly, I mean, I use a Warthog, and it's halfway up the stick under my thumb, and it's really convenient, except for one helicopter. You need your trimmer to be in a position that's not going to stop your grip from working. So ideally you want it on something that you can still grip the stick or press the button or assign it to a key. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, so we've got two rotors going round above us in different directions. Those rotors, when you start moving forward, will generate lift. When they generate lift, the blades will tilt more on one side or the other, depending on which way round the blade goes. So something you really have to be careful of with the Shark is, as we move forward, because the blades are going in opposite directions, the blades are pushed together. So you can see there the top blade lifts on the left, the bottom blade lifts on the right, and those blades on the right will get closer and closer together. Now you might think that's not so much of a problem. The issue is, alright, is there anything left at this place, or am I too late again? Won't be the first time. There's not a lot left. I haven't got supplies either, but I do know, see that there? There is, right, somewhere I can land and get supplies. Right, so what you've got to bear in mind is all my controls, I go through the blades, because the blades are the only flight control surfaces we've got. So if I suddenly, while I'm going faster, do a hard turn, the blades are going to suddenly get close together. If I go in the opposite direction, it's okay. But if I do anything drastic, those blades are going to collide. And when they collide, they suddenly break into tiny little blades. You wobble like crazy and drop out the air, which is why you've got a seat ejection system. Thank you, AI bot Lisa. What's the weather today in Burntwood?
I don't know. It's cold out there.
I'm going to get Alexa back.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you want to do any sudden movements, you need to slow down. If you go too fast, I'll show you what happens to the blades. We can get this up to about 300. It gets very shaky. And at some point we're going to end up with a warning, and it's going to be going beep, 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 like that. Okay? As soon as you hear that, look, see the blades? As soon as you hear that, you need to put your thumb or finger on your trimmer and drop your collective and pull back your stick, because if you don't, you're going to end up dead. Okay, I've had to let me add a bit more collective and turn that collective into forward. Does that make sense? You'll see it in a minute. But as we start going, those blades are going to get closer. I'm pushing more collective, which then allows me to go faster as well.
I'll go and practice and walk the dog. Have a nice weekend.
No worries, no worries. Thank you for popping in. Glad I can help. See, we're going down even more. Going faster and faster. Blades are getting closer and closer. Can you see?
Sweet Kettle Barbit said, have you got the insolence setting turned up on your AI?
Insolence setting on my AI. It's just basic stuff, isn't it? I try. I mean, can you imagine going to Alexa? Alexa, what is the weather today in Burntwood? See? It's -5. There you go. You can hear that gently in the background. Can you hear the beeping? Look at my blades. Oh, it's just stopped now, see? So you just basically drop your collective. I've got the trimmer on. I'm not going to go flying up in the air. Right? I'm coordinating this. So I need to slow down a bit and stop those blades from going. Did yours do what mine did? Told me what burnt wood in America is. And but you get the gist. Right, let's head back towards where we're going. Oh dear me. I forgot about everybody else's. I do apologise. I'll go and pick up some supplies. I'm coughing at the moment. I have a persistent cough, which is not conducive to streaming or making vids, but I work with it. Oh, is that what she did?
Stormy _L said, end of work for me today. Later I will jump in the Huey. Do you checks again for our stream and have a nice day.
Yeah,
see ya guys.
You are welcome. No worries.
X_Wolfie_X screams as men's text so speech reads out.
When it reads it out, did it set off your Alexa again? We're just going down to this fob so I can pick up some... Oh, Pup's in now. When did you sneak in, Pup?
Oh, not work on?
And you never even said hello?
Yeah, I did. It was a world's worst sneak. He said hello.
Oh. Well, I didn't hear you. Was I too busy talking for a change?
Yeah.
Hey, Pup.
Hello.
How are you today?
Pretty good.
I thought you'd be out shopping.
Oh.
You still got to go shopping?
No.
Oh, that's good. Right, so we're just coming down. We're going to land soon. We'll land at the fob, get some supplies. I've put both versions of the World War II map on here. I might have got rid of the problem we had last week, Stu, when we tested. I just hidden some planes somewhere as static models. Oh, it give you? Oh, right, yours did. Mine gave me burnt wood in America because we are not -5. I'm still in t-shirt and shorts, so I tell you we're not -5. I got up the other morning, back 10 to 5, and got ready. Lisa was already up by the time I got downstairs after a shower. And I said to her, "Are you warm enough?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I looked at the thermometer on my phone, and it said it was 18.5 degrees, which is plenty warm enough. And we don't even have the heating on. When I got outside, it was 2 degrees, and we haven't got the heating on. I was dead impressed. Saved so much money. Right, there's the fob. So somewhere down in front of us, we'll see some little buildings and an invisible fob, and I should be able to load there and get supplies. A little bit further than I thought maybe. I'll start slowing down. You basically, I'm holding the trimmer, lifting the nose up. When I'm actually flying, the surprising thing, look how much movement is in this stick. Can you see? Not a lot. You can see the diamond. Yeah, here I am slowing down quite a lot. And if you look at the little diamond on the red, you can see that's how much movement I have in my stick. Quite surprising, isn't it, really? There's so little movement. Flying a helicopter is all about nudging, right? It's not about grabbing hold of the stick and yanking it here, there and everywhere. It's about doing tiny little adjustments constantly. And you just do it without thinking when you get used to it, quite honestly. Camel, who I think has gone to bed now, he's a proper helicopter pilot, unlike the rest of us. Well, that was his job until recently. So he's got about 20 years of real life helicopter piloting. Not military based, but he knows his subject. He's very good, actually. Right. If anyone's watching, by the way, this stream on Twitch is in 2K. If you didn't know, I don't know whether it comes up automatically or not. I only enabled it recently. And if you want to watch in 4K, it's on YouTube under MELL DCS. However, because there's a 1 minute delay between the speech and what you're seeing, if you want more direct speech, click on the little link in the description and it'll hook you into the Twitch chat window. So that way around I'll hear what you're saying and you'll be able to talk. Oh, we've got it, have we? Yeah, I need more supplies. You'll be able to communicate more real time, okay? So you got a few choices. If anyone's got any questions, jump in and ask. I will be finishing about 1 o'clock today because I've got to take the other half to work. She's working most of the week next week. Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, I think. Yeah, Boxing Day too. That means every day I'll have to stop at 1 o'clock to take her to work, and I can't have a drink. Can you imagine? Can't have Christmas dinner till next week, and even then we'll probably just have a cut down version. But hey ho, this is what you get for working in a care home. They don't shut down over Christmas for some reason, but she enjoys it, and as long as she's happy working, that's fine by me. Right, I'm just going to start looking now for this place. It's quite difficult knowing how far away it is. Could do with a little marker, but I'll find it. So I've slowed down quite a lot, as you can see. The blades will separate again, flying at a nice diagonal angle. I can't tell, is that it over there? See this? It might be. See it? Little speck. You might even be able to see that on Twitch now. Should see it on can you see it there? I think that might be it. Might be completely wrong. Might just be a tree in the background, but let's have a look. Oh yep, might be right. Can you just see that little speck there? This is why I like flying in 4K. The stuff you can see, the range you can see is brilliant. So you watch me get down there and it'll just be a sodding little bush. Whenever you come to land in a helicopter, especially when you're learning, always think about getting into a hover rather than trying to just put your landing gear where you want to land. Once you've got into a hover, it's really easy to land from there, but you want a nice low level hover. When you are learning, you're likely to VRS a lot, which is a vortex ring state, which means you'll crash when you come to land. Again, I will explain all of that better on the videos when I can get them done, so it'll be a few weeks. So I'm slowing down, lifting my nose up, dropping my collective. You see the numbers coming down, and I'll just land in that area, and I should then be able to get some supplies, go and resupply the place that we've just captured. Assuming, I think this is the right place. There's a tent, there's an ammo thing, look. So it's looking pretty good.
Univox said, hello again.
Hey, hello, Lumi. Do you actually play DCS at all yourself, Lumi? Just put my undercarriage down, should go green soon. There it is. Right, so I've killed some of my speed and then killed the rest by turning. And now I'm just...
No, I just like watching you play it.
You'd probably enjoy it. Although, how do you fly Star Citizen? Is it mouse and keyboard or controller? Right, so we're into a nice low hover. Gotta make sure I don't hit anything. I took out the thingamajig last time, the tent, by mistake. Let's see if I'm in the right place. Looks like it. So I should be able to get some supplies. Logistics. Load supplies. Supplies loaded. Don't need my little light now. Switch that off. Right, so I've got supplies. Now I've just got to hop over to the place we've just captured. Again, notice I've got my brakes on. I don't want to roll around in the dirt. I don't want to roll into anything that we've got there. I have destroyed something before with my tail, not realised. Where's my G key? Oh, a little bit off. I thought those were, that was smoke there. Obviously not. Anyone got any questions? I haven't got as far as weapons on this yet.
First, I don't
That's
understand
gently handling.
so that's an investment needed to
Yeah.
play this game. And second, DCS, it's too deep of a simulation for my gaming taste.
No, that's
I want
fine.
to watch it, but to actually play it. It's a goes too far into the simulation side.
No, I understand that. I think there's a lot of people are put off, to be honest, by a number of things. It is quite heavy, to be honest. And I think as a game, some people find it a little bit out of reach, either through it's too complicated so they don't bother. Sometimes you'll go and watch people and you automatically think, I'm not going to be able to do that, I won't remember all that, so people don't bother. But hopefully one of the things I want to do with videos is show people that it's not as bad as you think it is, if it's done right. If you've got somebody to help, whether that's by video or training or whatever, the accelerated learning you get from that sort of hopefully helps people realise that it's not as out of reach as they thought. Do you know what I mean? And the fact there's so many options to try it without spending any money at all is quite good. And I don't think that's pushed enough, to be fair. But hopefully I'll try and make a dent on that. You only ever need a very basic joystick anyway to get started. I mean, even I started on something that, you know, I moved away from after about 18 months. It reminds me of going kite flying, right? And you might be thinking, what? So, back in the... I've always had an interest in kites from a kid, right? Never had them. But then when I started work, I had some money, and therefore, at some point, a friend of mine found a kite shop which I didn't know existed. And I remember going to the kite shop, and we both bought a small kite. Now, I did have a Peter Pal kite when I was quite young, but this kite shop was a bit more specialist. Things weren't plastic. They were made with a fabric called ripstop nylon, and so on and so on. So there was a kite that we bought each. Yeah, cheers, Macca. Thank you very much, matey. So we went to the shop, and it's like your eyes popped out. It was kite heaven, right? And I was in my... How old was I?
In my case, it's not that it's complicated to start playing it. It's just the level of simulation it's to do.
No, I understand that.
For example, Star Citizen level of simulation, it's fine by me. And
Yeah.
that's nothing compared to DCS.
No, I understand that. It wasn't my reference. It was just how... It's like when I first started flying, it reminded me of this kite, and I'll tell you why in a minute, right?
I had my Peter Pal's damn kite when I was a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Well, such as it happens, right? And this is how things bizarre. You know, you just get weird shit happen in your life sometimes. But this little kite shop, right, we went to... bought a kite each, and it was in the early to mid 80s, and it was like 30 quid, which was a lot for a kite back then. But there were kites on the wall hanging up that were like 100 quid, and you're like, geez, who would spend 100 quid on a kite? And then time passed. And then in the, where was it? 1990, I went to a kite festival in the UK, and again was blown away by all these things, didn't realise so much existed. And before you know where I was, I'd spent 130 quid on a stunt kite. And you're like, that's a lot of money, right? Especially in 1990.
Anybody using the Quest 3 on DCS?
Kevlar is, but he's only just coming back online, and I haven't seen him since his stuff gone, but he had a Quest 3 delivered last week, right? So there I was, spending 130 quid on a kite. Not only that, the line to fly it was another 20 odd quid, right? Let's unload these supplies. Can you tell I'm thinking kites now? Logistics, unload, there we go. So we need another 2 lots of supplies. So someone's bringing a Chinook over with a load of supplies. So I'm guessing that we'll have more. I'll just wait and then go and pick some up if we haven't got another 2 lots. So basically, there I was. I met 3 other guys and we started to fly together.
Mike X622 said, "Yo bro, love your stream. Let's sometimes play together and share tips and ideas. Let's connect on Discord." Mike X0547.
Yeah, Mike, that's fine, mate. A lot of the people who are flying with me at the moment are people who are viewers. I tend to be doing my own thing and they're flying the mission, and I'm sort of going through what I'm going now. But you're more than welcome. You know, you can come in any time. Just ask. Let me just press these 2 things here, otherwise everything will switch off. So basically, right, we ended up flying together, and we put quite a few hours of practice in, as you do. And then literally, we started flying kites competitively because there were competitions. And in our first ever competition of the way you get into these things, we were the 2nd best team in Europe because it was abroad. And once we were 2nd best team in Europe, we'd got all these kite manufacturers coming to us wanting to give us kites. Ah, right, okay, thanks. Thanks, Johnny, you looked him up. Wanting to give us kites, and they're all custom made stuff, and I ended up flying all around the place. And then we was in the 1992 World Cup representing the UK in Japan, and then while I was around some events I saw this guy who basically was going around on a 3-wheeled thing, sitting on it, holding a kite. And those kites were 1,100 quid. Right? And the next thing, I was at a wedding in New Zealand to someone else, and I went and stopped with this guy who I saw, and then bought some kites off him direct, shipped them over, and then there's that Chinook coming in. Let's go and find it out. And then basically, I ended up creating something called the British Buggy Club. And then we turned it into the BPKA, which was a much bigger organisation with 5,000 members. And it's just how you get into these things. It's weird, right? So from something where you think it's too much, right, I end up with stuff made specifically, custom made for nothing. We never took a sponsorship deal. Well, what we said to these suppliers was, look, you make us a kite then, right? And we'll fly it if it's the best kite to fly in the conditions that we're flying in. If we sort of have a sponsorship deal, that means we're obligated to fly the kite. But if we choose the kite and it's the best kite for the conditions, that's what will sell, because people know we've got a free choice. So we ended up with 11 sets of kites that cost hundreds of pounds. And I was off all around Europe and abroad and everywhere, and didn't cost me anything. It was good, and we used to run our own events. We used to hire Middle Wallet where the Apaches were, which is where I got the interest in Apaches. We was off all over. But it's funny how these little things go, and flying. You know, my first joystick was some real cheap-ass thing, and I would never, when I saw like steering wheels or gaming stuff, you know, I would never have thought I would spend the money I have on the things I have. Just from that little place. And there always seems to be a point where you justify it for yourself. And as you get older and you make more money, it becomes a lot easier, which is probably why everyone who I fly with is old. Do you know what I mean? But never be put off. Start small and always start with a basic. I mean, I've got a Fender Strat that I bought when I was 20. It's 45 years old now, sitting in its case over there. I've got another MIDI guitar over there when they come out, an electric violin over there, and another bit over there. Do you know what I mean? And now I've got time to get back into all my stuff that I used to do. But always start small. Never try and just jump in. Right, we should be good now. Oh, 3 or 4. Okay. I thought he was going to bring 2 lots of supplies. I'll go back to the back to there. Unless someone else is coming in. Who's that? Oh no, okay. That could have been supplies from AI.
Said, I noticed that you aren't flying it right now. Everything went smooth with the Apache.
They aren't flying it right now. Everything went smooth with. Yeah. It was fine. I got shot down. What was the angle again? 318. I got shot down, and because of the way I was explaining the trimming in the Apache, it's far easier to explain it from this point of view. Because I always say you want to learn the Apache, you start with a Huey, then you go. Yeah, oh, can I get some? No, I'm not going to get supplies. I've got to get them from somewhere else. So I'll go over here and get them. I can't bring them back to here to resupply if I load them here. So. No, that's fine. I have no problem with being shot down. It's more important sometimes to try and explain what I was doing. I was trying to sneak across somewhere and got caught out. And there was a few missiles, if you go back on the stream, that you'll see just missed me. So I was having to move closer to get to this base. But you'll see. Hey, Wolfie. It's not like it's the end of the world, and I don't let it become frustrating. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a rage quitty sort of person. So if I get shot, I get shot. I avoided a few missiles as I was going along. I think the 4th one got me though. If you look back on the stream, Luma, you'll see. The missiles were sort of, some of them were just missing me. But it was alright. There's not a lot I could do. There was no cover or, terrain masking or anything. So somebody then had to jump into a plane and take out the SAMs. You can even take some SAM sites out with the Huey. If you load up door gunners and keep really, really low, you can fly into an SA2 site and take the whole thing out by yourself. Or you could put a couple of mates in as door gunners. It's quite a low level SAM, and it just doesn't have the depression, so you can fly under its radar and get in. It's not armoured as such. So I've got to get supplies. Oh, someone's got some luck. Don't know where that other one come from, but that base now is taken, and we should be able to move on to the next one, which is down here. Was trying to get this mission finished before we move on to the World War II stuff. And it'll be a shame to not finish it when there's only a couple of places left, you know what I mean? Right, so it's slightly off to the right. Have I got my head moving? Yes. I think that might be... No, that's not it. There's a slight slope here, isn't there? But I'm going quick. Was it there? It is, look. Right, so slow down quick. Nose up. Collective down. Not too much that I'm going to VRS. I need some fuel from here. So I've got half a tank, so...
Univox said, which SAM model does the game normally spawn?
Oh, the game, you've got all sorts. You've got everything from SA2s, SA10s, 8s. You've got so many different SAMs available. And there's even some newer ones in there. SA11 is one of the hardest. SA10 isn't too bad. But it depends what you're going up against. If you've got a decent SAM site, there's a whole load of SAMs protecting the big SAMs, so your missiles are getting blown up as well as you. And believe me, they are pretty hectic. You could fire a few missiles off and none of them will reach the target. If you... Oh, have I put my wheels down? No. Soviet, Chinese, yeah, mainly Soviet. There's some Chinese, there's a few other odd ones. Don't want to hit that because I'll ruin it. I've now got my undercarriage down because I forgot. Hopefully I didn't. Oops. Hopefully I didn't knacker anything. Just check. Looks alright. Right, so I need to refuel. When you rearm refuel, right, if you ask, I'll show you what I mean. Let's move the fuel up and say okay. You'll get no response. Okay? You've got to put your radio on because the ground crew cannot hear you with everything on, even if you open the door. So now we'll try again. It could be I'm in slightly the wrong place, but we'll see.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
Okay, it's a KA-50. It's a 50. This one's definitely a 50. Single seat. It's really good. They did it really well because they updated it, made it higher resolution, made everything stand out properly. So in VR it looks brilliant. You can see the fuel gauge going up, look. Just grab my tea while I'm waiting. Anyone got any questions on the Shark? Hopefully we'll get to the weapon system. The weapon system's very good. It's simplish, but it's excellent how it works. The Stingy's on the way there. So let's get rid of this now. Don't need it. See what we got there. Stu's just took another fob over there. Got quite a few SAMs, tanks and things. So I should be able to fly down this route. It looks very flat. There's some sort of hill there. I keep wanting to rotate this so I can see it like Google Earth, because it's going to be difficult to get in, but we'll see. So over here, we've only got this place. Over here then. SA10. Oh, that's only one little bit, isn't it? Oh, I can't see it from here.
Sleep said, wish they had the Ka-52 Gator. I love the Ka-50. I played it the most in DCS back when it originally came out.
Oh yeah, I remember when it came out. It was a Russian cockpit only. Single player game. Let's see how I can get down to here and what I need to get.
And the nightmare trees.
Oh, the trees, yeah, the floaters. Let's start down there. That's going to be really quite close. Yeah, the trees in DCS. The way trees used to be in DCS were 1 pixel sheets of top-down view tree. Right? How far is it? 52. So when you were flying in a plane, you'd look down and you would see a forest. So it'd have a sheet of the tops of trees looking down, and that's it. But down on the floor, you'd have some weirdy, and I mean weird trees, and they basically half the time floated in the air and also had no collision. You could fly through the trees and everything. And it wasn't till they really started bringing helicopters that they thought, actually, when you're flying in a helicopter, you're looking at 1 pixel thick sheets from an edge, and it looks really naff. The trees were all over the place, floating in the air and everything, and it really didn't look good.
What number are you on, Mel?
Number 1, matey.
I take
Number 2. So he's flying in also on 124, I think. Give us a radio check when you come on. So it looked appalling, and so that's one of the reasons why it was made to look nicer and better. And the fact that every single tree is collisionable, it stops people from flying through trees, but it also means you can use trees to stop missiles. So you can hide behind a bunch of thick trees, and the missiles will hit them and won't hit you, which is brilliant. So hopefully I'll get close enough to the target. So we can actually do some work with the weapons. Try and get down to there. It's not going to be easy, and as I'm heading straight for them, that's not going to be easy too. Anyone got any questions? The Shark will also do other weapons, but to be honest, there's not that many situations where you would use those other weapons. It's been so long I forgot. I think there's a weapon selector over there somewhere. I'll do it on the video as an aside, because you never get to use them, to be fair. And even the air-to-air, you can use them, but it's such a fiddle. You've got to basically pierce a canister, get something to cool down, and then you've got so long to shoot. Well, by the time you've done that, you've either been blown up dead or the target's no longer there.
Rockets and fix all you need on that thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's, you know, it does its job. As I said, I haven't used most of this other stuff ever. I like the, is it KH-25s, is it? Those are quite good, and the fact you can buddy lace and the target exchange is superb, as we may find out. I hope that wasn't a little bit of a jitter. One of the things I'm watching is I can stream in 2K now, but what I don't want to do is drop the quality. And because I'm also streaming in 2K, 1080p, 720p, and 448p, it's putting more load. So what I need to know from you guys is, can you see any stutter or anything? Normally you can't. When I move my head, I'll see a bit, which is fair enough, but on general vid. Okay, I just got to watch with. I don't think Star Citizen with the new Vulcan stuff will manage. I think that'll just have to stick at a 1080p stream, to be fair. Seem to be getting a little bit too high.
999 said, your weapons are laser guided, but there's no way to spot lasers from which tag is there?
There's no way to spot lasers from JTAC. No, because it's different. So my weapons are laser guided, but they are not American laser guided. So the American ones would need to be set into a code. Yeah, they do when you do 1080p, right? But this is the clever thing they did. So normally what happens is Twitch will ingest your stream, and if they've got resource, if they got resource, they'll also broadcast it at lower resolutions. 124 radio check. Was that you put? Oh, still on the wrong radio. Come on, come on. Yeah, I was on what's it channel? 124 radio check. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? So anyway, the Twitch used to do the ingestion and then separate it out into the different resolutions. When you have 2K, you put on some smart doodaddy thing, and what you're actually doing is broadcasting 2K, 1080p, 720 and 480, 48p, which means now I'm doing the work instead of Twitch's servers. So that's obviously putting a loading on the card, which shouldn't be as bad for this, because this isn't doing a good thrashing to the card like Star Citizen does. So Star Citizen, I will have a problem because I play in a lot of detail.
That's a lot of transcoding.
Yes, exactly. So I think I can get away with it in DCS, but we'll find out more with the World War II planes. So I've got a profile for 2K and a profile for 1080p, and I'll just switch, and if people want to see it better, then you can watch it on YouTube, and I think you can watch it on whatever you want on YouTube, even while it's live streaming, I believe. I don't know. The only downside with YouTube and 4K is the 1 minute delay. But then if you use my little link that's in the description, then you can talk through the Twitch chat anyway. Right, I'm keeping an eye open. This is the distance, 26k. Hopefully I'm heading straight for that little town. Got to sting up my arse in an F-16, which is fine. So he's going for some of the SAMs as well. It's not the best way of approaching a SAM site, believe me. You will stand out like a sore thumb. If ever you are working with SAMs, you want to be flying at 90 degrees and lowish to basically disappearing amongst all the background clutter. But I can't do much about that now. As you can see, it's really flat. I just want to get to this little town if I can, and then try and use that for some cover, and then do some popping up and down. But I've got a range a default range of about 7.1 clicks on the Vickers. You can put them into manual mode, make them go a little bit further. You can also pick your nose up, fire things and lob them. I hope they pick the laser up. You can do buddy lasing with another shark. You can store targets onto your Abras, and then you can move and then look straight back at those targets. And if someone else is flying in a shark, which they are, excuse me, then basically we can communicate. It's basically a very early or Russian version of data link, but works incredibly well. It's a bit like the A10 saddle. Now I'm coming up. Hopefully they're distracted. I'm going to start slowing down a little bit. I'm not quite sure where my town is. Could be that I can see in front. I'm lifting my nose up, dropping my collective, killing my speed. If I'm not careful, I'm going to get a missile in the face. I can't tell which side of the hill. See this over there? We've got a bit of undulation there. This might not be the one I'm after, but we'll see. Right, sorry about that. I was coughing and had to let go. So I'll pull up by these trees, and I'm still, what, 13 away. So this isn't the place I want to be yet. But I'll go and do a recce. If you don't know what recce means, it's basically have a look, but it's short for reconnoiter. This is a hole there. Looks like it is, doesn't it? Might have a valley that we can use. Even the cables, in most cases, you can collide with. In fact, everything you can collide with. There is simulated bird strikes as well if you want to enable it. Right, that looks like a dip to me. Let's try and get down in this dip. See where we are, see how far away we are. 18 clicks, see where we've got to go to. I need to slow down quite fast. Easy way is just lift the nose up, let the trimmer go. You can see it slowed down rather quick. I've just got to watch I don't VRS though. If the rate of descent is too much and I've got no speed, I'll just drop out the sky. Even this thing will VRS, but if you learn how to fly the Huey, then that will help you with VRSing, how to recognise it, etc. I need to move over here.
Lower gear.
Oh yeah, look.
Lower gear.
Do you get an extra life?
It would be good if you did, wouldn't it? So let's have a little look. How are you, Platy? How's it all going? You all ready for Christmas and stuff? Right, okay. So as before, slow down as slow as you can get before you hit the button for auto hover. Okay? And then you'll get a pretty damn good hover in this. Moving down just a little bit, so I'm just going to add a little bit more collective. Like if I go to...
Far from it, but I finished work for 10 days yesterday.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? Right, so let's have a good recce. So, oh, sugar, I am here. That is good. That gives me about 9. So am I looking at the target? Possibly. So that's a good position to be in, isn't it? 9.9k. Can I hit that? Not sure. Right, let's have a look. There's the target then. So let's switch on the weapon system. This is telling me 9.5k. Switch on the weapon system. Okay, it's that one. Switch on the master arm. Okay, I'm going to uncage the Schval. So the Schval is this little camera system here in the nose. Next to it is a laser, and you can just see sticking out is a cannon. Okay, it's a gimbal in there, and what that will allow me to do is look. So you can see the camera in the hood, and you can see what the camera can see on this little screen down here. Okay, and I can move the camera around. We've got a little bit of terrain cover, which is excellent, and it'll go so far and then it'll stop. You'll see what sort of angle you get out of it. Okay, just over 30 degrees, and we can do that in both ways. There's also a box in the hood, and the box is showing me the limits of the gimbal. So if I reset the gimbal now, right, show you again, you'll see as soon as the camera is out of the range of the hood, the box appears, as if by magic. Okay, come back in, and there's the camera. The other thing is I'm also in quite a nice hover. I'm not pointing the right direction yet, but the hover, as you can see, is quite good. When you set auto hover on this, it'll take a Russian equivalent to GPS reading and then use the trimmer system to keep it in position. Okay, it's got 20% control. As long as my controls are not inputting more than 20%, then this works. Now bear in mind I've got to go just before 1, right? So hopefully I can get some weapons off. So I've got to move, and I'm in a really good position. So ideally I don't want to have to reset the helicopter and everything else. I want to look over there, and I can do that. There's a couple of ways I can do it. Right, basically the easiest is to switch on something called auto turn. When auto turn is on, every time I let go of the camera, the helicopter will turn around and meet it. I'm going to turn the helicopter round by using my auto turn. Oh man, do apologise. I have a persistent cough. Right, and now I know which way the targets are. They're over there. So I've turned the helicopter round, and now I've got a peek over the hill. So again, I don't want to change my hover. I'm still in the hover, still a perfect hover. I can look all the way around me, 360, and the helicopter will follow. I'm now going to increase my height. We can see down here, when we go into auto hover, the 4th channel comes on. Okay, which is the altitude hold. So I don't want to take it off and change it. So what I'm going to do is just down here is a collective brake. So when I pull this little lever, you see this brake coming. So using that brake, I can lift the helicopter up and still maintain the hover. Okay? What I've got to be careful of though is there's targets over there. So before I do that, I'm going to look down here and I'm going to select weapons. By default there's 24 under rounds, so there's 240 rounds in my cannon, and it's high explosive, and I can tell that from this lever here. If I move it down, there's 220 rounds of armor piercing. I need to select the missiles which are on the outer stores. Okay, so I'm going to select those, and now I can see which stores I've got selected and how many I've got. So these are the missiles I want. So I'm going to get ready and slowly, hopefully slowly, stick my head up over this hill. And if you see there, we're at 3 meters. So I'm going to pull the collective brake and apply a little bit.
Tommy_Lion said,
Hey.
are you an instructor? You're very talented at explaining and not taking knowledge for granted.
I am not an instructor. I have taught people, and I've taught teams that I've worked for, and I've taught externals. But yeah, you always have to assume lowest common denominator. I used to teach Windows.
Didn't get to button till just before 6 a.m. Woke just after 9 and put your stream on. Nodded off again and was rudely awakened by my bloody Alexa informing me of the weather.
That's brilliant. That was my fault, by the way, people, because I said something to Alexa. I was explaining something, and of course everyone else's Alexas went, including Kev's. Sorry, Kev.
What was that all about?
Because Lisa had been up and she was, you know, I haven't got her upgraded yet, because I said, hey Lisa, what's the weather in Burntwood? I don't know. So basically I said, yeah, if you ask Alexa, and I went, Alexa, and my Alexa went off and told me what the weather was, but so did everybody else's. Sorry, Kev. It's me AI bot.
X_Wealthy_X said, I'm gonna change the name of mine to many.
So obviously I didn't mean to do that. Right, I'm going to brighten it a little bit, change the contrast a little bit. So anyway, as I was saying, I used to teach, and I used to teach Windows when Windows came out. Oh, really? I never even thought of that. So, yeah, I used to teach people back in the day when Windows first come out, Windows 3.1. Obviously, there was Windows 286 before that, but 3.1 was the mainstream, I think, when it started really lifting off. So I used to get a load of people who were secretaries and business guys, and I worked for a company, but we charged them 50 quid for a day's teaching. And I used to say to them at the beginning, right, who knows Windows, who's got an idea, who thinks they know? And then I used to bet them, and I used to say, I will have all of you learning something you do not know within 1.5 hours. So the idea being, you've got to keep everybody together, and you've got to make it interesting enough. But I've got to allow for those people who didn't know anything and those people who knew a bit. And usually by 1.5 hours, everybody's learnt something they didn't know before. Now, in this it's different, but I never assume knowledge. If I'm explaining something, I will explain it in a level that those people can understand it. Assume knowledge is really bad. And I've taught comms as well. And I've taught a load of
My first Windows
engineers.
3.1 for work groups.
Yeah, I know. 3.11 was it? Or was it 3.1? I was out in the days of Commodore PET being the main business machine, and the PC came out in 1982, which is the year I started in computers. Right, so we've got a layer of trees there looking over this hill, which is good because that's going to provide even more cover. Those trees, if
1982 hours, 4 to 5 months so long.
yes. Anybody else? That's 2 clicks away, right? So I've just switched my laser on. The laser's a rangefinder and laser guidance. So I should be able to get behind these trees, which are 2 clicks away. That's going to reduce my range.
No comments.
Just stop it, you.
Mechanist Sleep said, I am 48 to be 49 in a few days.
Yeah, I was 65 in September. Old fart hood. I've only just got there though.
Platy Trying Flying said, I thought you started with that hash-based counting engine.
Under attack.
Babbages. Let's move over there then, shall we? Let's.
Under attack. Warning.
Mechanist Sleep
That's
Under
said,
attack.
I feel like I am 120.
I know sometimes it is a bit like that. So I'm going to quietly sneak up. I don't want to go too close to the trees. If I go too close to the trees, right, I am going to have to pop up high to get over them. So what I'll do is sit back from the trees. My weapon arm is on you.
Under attack. Warning. Under attack. Warning.
Right, so
Under attack.
I'm just sneaking over here as best as I can, giving myself another couple of K, as low as I can, and then I can use these trees, I hope. You can see targets are over there somewhere, so I just need to push myself into this corner. Notice how I talk a bit quieter and the enemy won't hear me then. Always works. A Stingy got rid of some of the worst SAMs. Yeah.
Not that much left.
Isn't there?
No.
Here's me being super sneaky as always. And you're just there. All right then, send me a target, will you please? If you can't remember, just ask.
Yeah.
See, this is what I mean when you've got two sharks working together. You can have up to 4. See, now to me this is ideal. We can sit back here, slow down, turn around towards targets. Right, we've got all sorts of things, little bit of a hill, bit of a tree. This seems like a good place to attack that site from. Hit, auto hover. Pop hasn't sent me a target yet. Still on the wrong button. No, 124 radio check. See. Okay. There we go. So we can hear him.
Under attack.
Right. Okay. So that's probably him firing. So we'll drop this. We need to put this back on.
Warning. Under attack. Warning.
That's where he is, by the way.
Warning. Under attack. Warning.
Targets were over here. Okay, let's lift up, point, look over there. I'll select the weapons again. I think my laser's on. Yes, it is. Let's lift up.
Warning. Under attack. Warning. Under attack.
Okay. Now the reason why you sit back a little bit from the thing that is giving you cover is I did explain it last week. It's about having... has anyone not ever been in a castle? I know that sounds like a weird thing to ask. Because if you look at castle windows, which is the best way of explaining it, on the inside, they're very wide, and that's for the archers. So archers could aim in a very wide area, but from the outside it's a thin slit, so that people couldn't shoot in.
Kev said, does Newcastle count?
Yeah, well, so how did I do this?
All right. Okay, so just find a target.
Yeah.
Stick it on your Abris. Make sure your laser's on, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. Select the select my number 1. Select the number that you use to mark the target and cycle through it if you've got more than one, and then do send mem.
But I need to mark it first, right?
Yeah, mark it first. So basically, the first number 1 is any ground-based target. Number 2. Number 2 is Sam's. Number 3 is other. So whatever you're sending me, choose the right one, and then just send mem, and that will put it on your Abris. And then once it's on your Abris, choose number 1 for me in the middle row, and then choose the weapon target type, and then do send mem.
Receive data.
Okay. Yeah, what Sting is after, Kev, is whether you've tested it. Yeah, got it, fine, thanks. So now what I can do...
I didn't send you to replies.
What I do is hit 1 and send, and lo and behold, I should have a target over there. There it is. So now I've got his target. Right, now his target is over there. I don't know exactly where it is. But what can I do now? Right, so this is the beauty of it. I'm going to reset, right, my file. I'm going to switch on my auto turn. I'm going to choose what shape is that? Was that a diamond? Ground vehicle. So I'm going to select this, and now I'm going to select this DL ingress. Watch what my helicopter does. Right.
Said, try turning your notifications on.
Hang on, I'm just checking. Sorry, make sure my laser's on. So watch what happens when I press the button. The camera is going to shoot across the screen. Right, let's do this so you can see it. And then the helicopter will turn to follow. And that's the target he sent me. Right, if I'm high enough to see it. Which is pretty damn good, really, for something that's so old.
Yeah, 2 targets there, man.
Okay, thanks, matey. So I'm just going to lift up just a little bit. I can just see. I think there's something there. Make that a little bit smaller. It's quite hard to tell. I can see the lights. Trouble is, at the moment, there's 2 pools of smoke there. I'm going to lift up just a bit more. Not sure. Yeah. Ah, yeah, I'm climbing up. The trouble is, I've got sheds and things there, so I might not see them. But what an ingenious system. I might get shot while I'm doing this, but we'll see. So I'm going up really slowly. You see there's a ridge there. I was talking about castle. There's one. Thanks, Put. There we go. Now it's 9.2, and there's a set of rules. Have I not chose my thingy? There we go. there's a set of rules applied on that says if the weapon you're trying to use is outside the range, which it is, this is the targeting pipper. That's minimum range, maximum range. It's outside. I can't fire. Okay? So what I'm going to do is turn out a little bit, and I'm going to switch it from automatic mode to manual. So if you use it in auto, what will happen is it will stand a good chance of hitting the target. So now I'm in manual. It's like, I don't give a shit. You can fire whatever you want. Right? So I could fire over here, even though the laser's over there. Right? So it should, with a bit of luck, rifle, extend my missile a little bit, and it may hit the target. Would do if I hit the right key. I'm not sure whose that one is. That's not mine. I don't think I got that. I think that was another pup one. But you get the gist. So I can extend. Oh look, there it goes. There's a target. Someone's trying to shoot it. Did they get it? Looks like it. So I'm turning around a little bit. Right, so let's lift up just a little bit more. Not sure why I'm turning around so much at the moment. Let's have a look. Ah, that's why, okay. That's where my camera is. Still locked on something. Alright, Stingy. See you, Stingy. Have you tested your headset, Kev, on DCS? When I've shot the target, by the way, although he said there were 2 targets, but what's that? I hope that's not big green smoke, something. Yeah, orange smoke. It just gets in the way completely. Just completely, some of the smoke sometimes completely masks the targets. So, can't see what's down there. I don't know whether there is anything there. We'll have a look. Something there maybe, but that doesn't help. So I need to move these over. Let's lift up a little bit more. And if I'm not getting the range, then I need to fire up a little bit, or just get a little bit closer. Rifle.
Said, yeah, it's a real problem sometimes when you're trying to aim a maverick at the giant mass of smoke that completely obscures the target.
It's a pain in the ass, to be honest. It's alright for a general sort of view, but it's absolutely useless for
not had a chance to play with it yet.
Right.
Work yesterday until January 5th, so had a shed load to get
look,
done.
it's not reaching, so I need to move. Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough, Kev. So you go back on the day that I finished then. Right, we're going to move. We're a little bit high now. I'm not sure what's down there at the moment, but we'll just head in that general direction. I'll go back down again first though. What time is it? 12:51. I've got to finish in a minute. And then just disappear rather quickly. Let's switch the screen off because it's not always easy.
3 engines needed to go out before I finished, so it had busy.
Ah, right, yeah. What was that, the pup?
There is something left, but I can't see it on the map.
I know, that's what we were just saying. We can't see because the orange smoke's in the way.
Yeah, but I can't see it on the map either.
Maybe it's damaged enough. I'll just go and have a look. I've got to go in a second anyway. Right, gun's all ready. By default, the gun is centered. But I can also control the gun using the other system. So if I come over here, I'll probably get shot down, but I really do need stopping just a minute. So my gun has got a range of about 4.5k. No, 4.1k.
Two little men.
Two little men. You're never going to see two little men with that smoke, are we? There we go, we got it. Okay, so I should be able to land here. I haven't got any... I haven't got any supplies, unfortunately. I would normally just go and pick some up from the... there's a fob just outside of here. However, I am going to have to jump off. I will be back later. Let's think it's about 40 minutes out. And I'll see where they've got to. I've got the World War II missions on. I'm at work Monday and Wednesday. It'll be a bit difficult. No, matey. Did you specifically want one? I haven't demonstrated one today. I sort of explained it a little bit, but not demonstrated.
Not if it's forced.
No, if it's forced. It's no fun, is it? You updated your Star Citizen? You had a look yet? I'll be doing that tomorrow, by the way, at some point. I might be a bit late because I've got to get a car wash, we've got to go shopping, I've got to get a haircut, and then we've got to go shopping again, and then I'll be on.
I will this afternoon.
Right, okay, just slow down and then stop, and then I'll have to pass you guys on. Hopefully there was some useful bits and bobs in there for people. Some of you are probably yawning like crazy, which is fair enough. Some have woke up, like Kev, who had a late night because he was on a rush job. I never even give it a thought about everybody else's Alexas, I must admit. 2K streaming seems to work okay, which is good. There you go, VRS enough for your Platty. Right, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Those on YouTube, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again tomorrow on the other channel for Star Citizen, which is